Listen, listen, listen. Welcome to Monday Night Rooms, where I will ramble on for roughly 3+ hours. I don't know. There's actually a good amount of stuff to get into. There's Marvel Legends stream today. Not a lot, but some pretty cool stuff, believe it or not. And there's some GI Joe stuff that I want to talk about. There's also a few other things that I want to discuss about misinformation, and we'll get into that before we get into the topic, and we'll discuss the topic obviously later on. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for giving me some of your time on Monday. I hope it started off pretty easy for you. I know so many people they don't look forward to Mondays, but they do look forward to Monday nights. There's a lot of shows on now. I still think that I have the best. I so don't. But I'm glad that you guys were able to tune in and join me, and hopefully I just give you a little bit easier, just easing up your Monday and finishing up your week. But anyway, yeah, this weekend it got warm here in the state of Michigan, or at least in the Detroit area. So much so that Sunday I couldn't do it anymore. I have no airflow through my house. I have a townhouse. I have very I have no airflow, and I just couldn't do it anymore. Having the windows open, the fans going, and it got up to about 80 degrees in my house, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. This is the time where you're trying to cut down on your electric and cut down on your gas. You're like, this is right in between. You're going from your running your heat to your air conditioning, and it's like, just give me a month or two where I don't have to run both. Um, but I gave in because not only was it that hot, today it was like 89 degrees, and I think tomorrow is supposed to be around the exact same. And then it's going to drop back down into the 60s, so I'll be able to cut down the air. Hopefully, not have to turn the heat on, but we will see. Um, Again, first world problems, right? That we're going to complain that we have to run our air conditioning or our heat when we know there's a lot of people that don't have the ability to have that, or they don't have homes. So I'm not going to complain too much, but I might. But anyway, I got to work out a little bit. Recorded some content that most of you have already seen. I actually got a bunch of stuff in on Sunday. Took the little guy or the big guy get his nails done. He's doing so much better. I know a lot of people are going to ask. We opted not to do surgery on his ACL, which he tore right at the beginning, like literally January 1st. Like, hey, don't worry. You think January is going to be, or you think 2026 is going to be financially better for you? Don't worry. Roman's going to tear his ACL, but it's healed pretty nicely. I don't let him run up and down the steps too often. He's up here right now. Pretty much when I go to bed, I let him come upstairs, shut the door. So if he goes back downstairs, that's pretty much it. But it's one of those things where you just kind of want to watch it, and they can't tell you what they're doing and how much something hurts. So you have to watch for them. But he's healed pretty well. He'll go out. He'll be 10 in September. So as a 60-some pound pit bull, his days of running for long periods of time, I think, are over. But he still has a lot of spunk to him. But every now and then, like, you start to wonder how much he is actually faking it. And I know that sounds weird, but there was a time when I was limping, and my daughter pointed out, she's like, he's limping like you. And we've seen dogs where they'll imitate it, and he totally did. So, but he's doing better. I know a lot of people will ask. It's been over 5 months, so hopefully this is good, and hopefully, we get into 27 with him looking good and not having to worry about that. So that was a little bit about that. Did some yard work, just got some stuff done around the house. I did get to order my my Disney and my Universal tickets this week. As many of you know, right after Joe Fest, I'm taking the 6-hour drive right down to Orlando, where I will be meeting up with my daughter. Yes, her mom, who is my ex, and her sister-in-law, who I get along with all of them. We have an Airbnb, so the four of us are actually going down to on vacation. And again, before people ask, no, we are not together. No, we are not trying to get back together. Uh, it's you can get along with someone when you realize you don't have to live with them anymore. You don't really have to listen to what they what they say. They're no longer in charge of you. But anyway, that was my weekend. Recorded the Marshalls, recorded the Dutton Ranch. If you haven't watched that, that is out now. I have like to I love the Blue Bloods. Now it's Boston Blue. What a All I know, if you watch Boston Blue or you watch Blue Bloods, all I have to say is, why does anyone get involved with that family? They're like the only ones that can shoot that ever get in shootouts with people. Anyway, that was my weekend. That's pretty much my weekend all the time. So anyway, 47 people watching. So please hit the like button if you haven't. Let's get through and say hi to everyone. We got GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community, and we will see them in roughly 5 weeks. We got Coxter saying good morning from this side of the planet. Blue Barneller jumping in here saying, hey there, hi there. Ho there, how's everyone? What's up, Larry? We got the Crusty Old Crow, Snow Wolf jumping in here. U.S. Combat Dojo, Beardy McPherson. Lady Spartan, who's saying, good evening, all. Hey, Punk, I have a bedtime. Then you have picked the wrong show, but I'm glad that you're here. Just remember, you can always hit pause and finish on the replay, but it's so much better if you just stay up. It's only one night you have to stay up. Well, on Thursdays, because you're going to want to watch and stay up on Thursdays and watch those, but that's only 2 nights. I mean, hell, Circle of Jerks tomorrow, 6:30-ish, we go on. So you'll have an early night. Then we have Uncle Clutch jumping here saying he taking a long dump or what? I really should say 9-ish that I start. But I'm always going to start at 9, but not really. Snake has joined us. David R. Uncle Clutch again saying, just broadcast from the pooper. My man, we're all friends here, audio only though. Do you really want to hear that? Do you really want to hear that? Machine Man here. Cobranomics is here. Same time toys. Stew for lunch saying Monday nights are perfect for a Rambo. Howdy, y'all. Action Figs, my moderator, saying, evening, folks. How's everyone this fine Monday? And it would be a much better Monday if Thursday we were leaving to go to Augusta. And I'm sure you can agree with that. I need a vacation. I know you feel this exact same way. And I'm ready for it. I am totally ready for it. We have Yorktown Joe jumping in here. Brandon R. War Chest full of toys saying War Chest is here. What's up, people? And then he drops in with the member for 26 months. So you instantly get the
fucking Phil Collins.
Which I got an Instagram message from GI Jetman saying that Phil Collins is not looking very well. No, he is not. He's not looking very good. And hey, it happens to the best of us, right? And if Allison here, she'll say he was never the best of anyone. Viper Scout is joining us right now. We got Steve Chomp 80s Joe's jumping in here, who's always been making, or not always, he's been making a lot of great comments on my reviews. So please keep them coming. I do read every comment. If you make a comment, I try and respond to as many as possible. It gets difficult. SCS Dog is in the house. And then we got Cypher63. I think I said that right. I know you were someone else, and you say, hey, this is who I am. I forgot. Here's G.I. Jetman himself saying, what's up, Punk in chat? And we got Mr. Florida says, I hope we get a version 22 Osprey or something like that as a HasLab. I don't know if they ever made one in the O-ring line, but it would be cool. If there is a HasLab if there is a HasLab this year, but any year, I don't think they'll ever do something that was not originally done in the Real American Hero line, or it has to be further down the road where something is established. They have to make sure that it's going to be a hit to justify that. Um, so if they didn't do something like that, there's no way that they're going to do something, especially right now. Men, who's we got Stephen K jumping in here, and we have Irish Johnny jumping in, Lost Ranger, and let's see, is there anyone else? Russell Lemieux. Yes, I like to get through everyone if possible. Um, Russell Lemieux says, "Did I miss Mo Tunaverse? You have not. It's coming." Deadman 2 says, "2 commercials with no skips. This show must be a big deal." Always is. I'm kind of a big deal if you didn't know that. Woody Triple 2 jumping in here. And you know what Woody always gets? The wet fart. I better not have to give him a wet fart when he gives me the O-ring stuff that I've purchased off him. He said it's supposed to be in pretty much mint condition. And if it's a wet fart, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. Model Misfit jumping in. And then we have 3-star Drawl. We have 8 in Skate. And I think that's about everyone. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more here. I know I should be able to get this. This is I'm calling you GZ. Someone tell me how to pronounce this, but I'm not gonna be able to do it right now anyway. Double Babine, did I get that right? What's up? Greetings from the Bay. Hey, look, we made it to the end. All right. Anyway, thank you guys all. Please hit the like button if you haven't yet. Whew. All right. I guess I hide his chat. See, I actually have notes. I actually have notes. You got to do that especially when you're doing stuff alone, or else you're really gonna go off the deep end. I want to say thank you to Debo and Plastic Fantastic for joining me on episode 2 of the drive to Joe Fest. I did get a Facebook message from somebody saying, thank you very much. I'm really enjoying this, which means a lot to me. I didn't know how much people are going to like it. We talk about Joe Fest an awful lot, and I think a lot of people that aren't going may start to roll their eyes and say, I don't get this. Can you just get off it? But we're not. It's something that we have so much fun there. And I know people will try and bring up other shows, and other shows I'm sure are great, but there is something very special about Joe Fest. And if you have a chance, I really do say, hey, just try and come down. Try and book, Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday, whatever it is, if you can. I don't think people are going to regret it. And they don't really have to be in a community or nothing. You're going to make friends there. We're all there for the same reason. No one's there to start fights. So just come on down if possible. But I want to say thank you to both of them. They were great. I've talked to them before. I actually met them at Joe Fest in 24. And again, kind of created a pretty good relationship and friendship with them. Quickly, we got Hinder Collector saying yo Punk and Peep. And then we got M. Hatfield jumping in here. All right, so now I did have Debo on, and on that on Friday, I dropped the review for this beauty that he printed. All right, now there are others out there. This is based off of a Mark II Designs, but he completely redid stuff. The whole body is this one shell. The tail is all one piece. And he talked about having to fix this or figure it out. This piece will actually slide right out. The problem is, and this was my issue, Derek, if you're listening, people have been asking me, hey, how can I get it? When is it going up? and he hasn't put it up on his Etsy yet. I told him, like, once you get it up there, let me know. Don't let me know when you get it up. That's between you and your wife or whoever. Don't. But once you get this up on your Etsy, let me know, and I'll put that out there. Again, propellers work, the gun moves, everything comes off. This thing is beautiful, and I told him, and it was one of the first comments that I got. I go, I love it, but someone is going to complain that this isn't gray, that it's silver. And sure enough, I think the second or third comment, somebody complained that the engine, which looks way better in chrome or silver, whatever you want to call it, that they weren't happy, and they would want theirs to be gray. Which he said, I can do it gray if they really want it. But if you are not following him and you're interested in it, here is a link to his Etsy. He said he had a whole bunch of people that started following him, but he hasn't put it up there. He's probably watching right now going, shut up, shut the fuck up. I don't have it. But go over there if you're interested. It is in the comments right now. We got Wolverine jumping in here saying, love Joe Fest. Looking forward to seeing you and the rest of the tuber folk again. Again, it's so much fun. And again, I don't think anyone's going to regret it. We got Bobby Wold saying, I saw Walmart have 5 things that went up for pre-order for classified, still under their code names. Kind of a blind buy. I will tell you what 4 of 5 of them are when we get to the G.I. Joe section. I might even tell you a little bit earlier, but I know what all 5 are, but I can only tell what 4 of them are. And we got Paul Morales jumping in here saying, hello, everybody. Anyway, Machine Man says, don't go too narrow on that seat. I don't know what you're talking about. Me when I turned around, or the helicopter, or the Fang. That's a hi to Stu for lunch. I know he was in here. I just want to make sure I highlight him. All right. So yes, thank you to both of those guys. They're not big YouTubers. And by big YouTubers at all, I mean, they don't do YouTube at all. Matter of fact, Debo, I think, has a microphone only because when I had him on Thursday with a friend, he's like, I need to go get one. And he was the one that told Michael, he's like, you need to do something about your mic. And he's like, was it bad? I'm like, I go, you sound like you were in a torpedo chamber, but it wasn't bad. I mean, people were able to hear you. He's like, damn it. But yeah, check out his stuff. They both do 3D printing stuff. Debo's really the only one that's selling stuff on a site. Michael will sell stuff if you ask him, if you see stuff that he's done. And they work together. They're good friends. So they will both work together with stuff. This week, the Drive to Joe Fest continues with podcasts from the pit. I will have Casey, Hillbilly Harper, Maximum Warp, and Joe ARH. This will be his first Joe Fest. This will be his first Joe Fest coming to it. So we're gonna have a nice talk. What makes it so special to Hillbilly and Casey, who have been to multiple. This will be Max's second one, but what is making Joe feel the need to go to this? And I think it's going to be a pretty good conversation. We are going to get these guys out of their comfort zone. I think most of you guys have seen podcasts on the pit, especially Saturday morning. They're not as animated as me. All right. So getting Casey animated, it can be fun. Hillbilly Harper, the same way. Joe will not be hard. That I can guarantee you. I had him on the show. He is not hard. He might be hard. He might be hard. I don't. I've gone there way too much today. But we're gonna get them out of their comfort zone. We're gonna make them be rowdy. Which isn't, their show is not known to be rowdy. here we can be loud and obnoxious. Ultra Match jumping in here saying, "Good evening, all." I want to also mention that this guy here, Ultra Match, you've been making so many comments on my reviews. It doesn't go unnoted. And I think I respond to every single one of them. But I do want to say thank you to everyone that does make comments. I can't go into full length if you have 3 or 4 paragraphs. I've actually talked to people. I'm like, pick something out and reference what they said so they know you're actually reading through it. But yeah, thank you very much. It's nice to see, and it does help the algorithm, but it also makes it so I know people are enjoying what I'm doing out there. Russell Muse says Punk's ready to get men hard. Hey, no judgment here. This is a no judgment zone, like Planet Fitness, which is a total judgment zone. So yeah, it's I guess this is pretty much like the Planet Fitness. I may not judge you, but I'm totally judging you. Just know that. Devil Dog has joined us saying hello, what's up, everyone? Circle of Jerks, I guess is supposed to be back tomorrow. I have no idea. Tony broke us up very rudely. Not only did Tony decide to go to over to GI Customs on Tuesday, which really put a strain on the group. It caused us to break down. Then we saw Tony had already taken another job over with the Gucci channel, going back to where he used to work, showing that all he has is total loyalty when he truly is one of the most unloyal people that I have ever met in my entire life. But I think we've worked it out, and I think we are trying to bring back Circle of Jerks 2.0. I guess I'll probably find out when you guys find out. So maybe we'll be back tomorrow. Anyway, Mr. Wonderful jumping in here. Is it really a Monday if we haven't listened to a Punk with Toys rambling? I don't know. Is it really a hexastack if I haven't gotten everything that I'm supposed to? Anyway, I was looking at them this week going, wow, it would be nice to finally review those. But I'm just going to sit here and look at them and wait for the pieces that I'm waiting on to do that. Anyway, hope you had a wonderful weekend. All right, quickly, I did get these in right now. These are the Joe Fest stickers. The only way you can get them is at Joe Fest. I will not be sending any of these out to people. There's 150. Obviously, I'm going to be keeping a few for myself. But if you're at Joe Fest and you see me, ask. I have Circle of Jerk stickers that I got to get rid of because I don't know if we're really a show anymore. I still have the original 700. I've actually ordered more Punk with Toys, but I still think I have some of my original 700 that I ordered for Joe Fest. 24, if you can believe that. But if you're there, ask me. When I'm out, I am out. But what I also do have up right now is the exclusive Joe Fest t-shirt, which I have to order. I went to order the other day, and it was like, it kept telling me that I can't order it. And I'm like, why can't I order this? I'm trying to give you my money. Anyway, this is it right here. So if you want to be one of the cool kids at Joe Fest, this will go down after I get back from Florida. Everything is 20% off right now on the site. They run these deals all the time. I should probably push my merch more often. But if you are interested and you want to have a Joe Fest Roman Duke shirt 2026, well, now until I get back from my vacation is the only time that you can order it. Obviously, you do not have to go to Joe Fest to get this. You can just order it if you want to walk around. But also on it, there's everything else. Here you have the Punk with Toys shirt. You have the Circle of Jerks. And yes, if you don't wear sleeves, let's say like I don't know, GI Bro, here's the sleeveless shirt for you. This way you can wear this. I actually put up a Punk with Toys sleeveless shirt last year, and he did get it, and he wore it to Joe Fest, and it was great to see. So anyway, if you are interested, everything is 20% off right now. I will copy the link so you can drop it. This is in all my videos. You can click a link to my merch store, or if you go to the website. So to all the people, and I know people ask me all the time. They ask me all the time, like, "Hey, how do you do this?" This is Spreadshirt or Spreadshop. They're the same company. There's like, I think, 3 different merchandise companies that work with YouTube, and it integrates perfectly into your home screen. So all you have to do is create a logo, put it up there. You don't keep anything on hand. Everything goes to them. And I can tell you this, I've had, I think, 2 shirts that have come over where it was off center, which is nothing I want to hear, right? That's a QC issue. But both times I've just contacted them and said, "Hey, the logo is off." They said, "Take a picture of it," and they send a new one out right away. So if you use Spreadshop, one creates the shop, and I believe Spreadshirt creates the shop. Spreadshop, that's what I'm looking at right now, is the actual shop. You would think it would be the other way around, but so if you want to do something like this means you never have to keep product. You know, a lot of people, I know last year, Ronnie Trickshot, Classified Ronnie, he brought his old Ronnie Trickshot shirts that he had made. And a lot of people get shirts made and you have to contact them and they ship it out there. Just, it's a crazy. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing that. I'm not a store. So you can do that easily. And again, if you have any questions about YouTube and you see me do something, shoot me a message. I am not a gatekeeper. I was talking to Crow today. I will never understood if it takes me 6 months. If it took me 6 months to figure something out, and I see a buddy of mine that is struggling with something, they shouldn't have to wait 6 months. I can reach out and say, "Hey, just so you know, I had that same issue. You might want to try this." Why should someone else have to struggle 6 months just because I did? If I can help them out, I'm more than willing to. Lego Star Wars Kid jumping in here saying, "Hello, everyone." And then we have Gun Bunny Customs, who is probably making the best customs. And I'm not even joking. Not just because he's a buddy of mine. He makes some awesome, awesome customs. Stuff that, like, again, the fact that he rips apart HasLabs, but he shows you what he's doing. Again, let's not gatekeep. There's no reason for it, because the truth is you can gatekeep all you want. A customizer or a painter can show you how to do it. If you don't have the ability to do it, you're not going to do what they're going to do anyway. Wolverine says, "Coming down to Florida, what parts? If Central Florida, I'll give you a heads up on some good toy shops to visit." I'm going to Orlando, and for the most part, we are booked for Universal and Disney. One day we're going to the beach, but pretty much we're going to be at the parks for that week. So I have no issues with you shooting it. I might, if it's on that Wednesday and I have a chance to shoot on over right at, because you're like, "Hey, what couldn't I find at Joe Fest? I should go here." But yeah, that's it. I have no problem shooting over and checking things out. Let's see here. This is a new one. This is what is this? We're just going to go with NHN Sound saying, "Are you going to interview Lenny at Joe Fest?" Well, first off, you need a...
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You got to understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
I won't. I have no intention. I have no plans on it. I'll be talking to Lenny, I'm sure. So, for me, Joe Fest is a vacation. On Saturday morning, I will probably do what I've done the past 2 years. I'll wake up in the morning, first thing, either before they open or right as they're opening, do a walkthrough of the complete convention where all the booths are downstairs, show all the different booths. I know I've gotten stuck talking to a few people. I will not record any fucking dogs. I will tell you that. If you have a fucking dog, I don't care if you give me written permission. I'm not going to record it because some lady jumped down my fucking throat when I went to show her when I went to record her dog really quick. And then later on that day, she told me that recording her dog would be like her recording my kids. And I had to do my best. Don't compare your dog to my fucking kids, please. I love my dog. But I'll tell you what, and I'll say, man, and this goes to all of you. Sorry, I'm off on a rant. I love my dog, right? He's right there. Look at him. He's right there. That's his little beanbag, all right? It's so fucking disgusting. I love my dog. But if somebody put a gun in front of my kid's face, I'm stepping in front of that gun. If somebody put a gun in my face, I'm expecting this guy to come bull rushing in and take the bullet for me. And when that woman told us, and so many people said the same thing, they went, "Oh yeah." No, the fact that she was so mad that I went to show, and I'm like, and there's even dogs here, and she snapped at me. And then when I tried to apologize, she acted like a cunt. I'm just gonna say it. All right. I was there with Australians. I could say it. She was a fucking cunt. I hope she's watching too. Anyway, so for me, Joe Fest is a vacation, and stopping to sit down with somebody, it sounds like a great idea, but then it takes away what I'm perceiving as part of my vacation, and it becomes a work trip. And for me, sitting down and just, chatting with Lenny, and I've had him on the show before, and I'm going to try and have him again, hopefully actually live. And I don't, again, he's there for other things. Everyone's going to be hassling him. So long answer, probably not. Todd C is here. Clint Jorgensen jumping in here saying, after you're done with Florida, if you're hitting up Utah on the way home, holler at me. I am not. That is a little out of my way. Oh, Ed says he's not new here. Been here before. Well, you should have told me that before. And Model Misfit jumping in here became a YouTube member. So you know what you're going to get is a...
Welcome to the creamery.
Olivia has not been here for like a week and a half.
Welcome to the creamery.
You can have two. I don't care. She hasn't been here for like a week and a half. Her mom Susan's going out of, just go down to Dallas for her work. So she's like, just stay with me. Okay. It doesn't, I don't care. We bounce back and forth. Like you said, obviously we have a good relationship, but you do start to miss her. I'm going to be a mess when she goes. Well, I won't be a mess, to be honest. I'll be good when she goes to college because I'm sure I will FaceTime her. She will call me and just go, do you have a second? And I'll be like, many of you have seen Olivia. She'll just walk in and start talking. That's my daughter. I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting there, I get a Bluetooth on. And she'll call me up and she'll be like, do you have a second? And I'll be like, I can't really talk, but I can listen. Okay. And then it's 30 minutes of her talking about the kids at school, and I'm just like, and I'm fixing my machine, and I'm just listening to blah, 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 blah. And then I'll do that to her too. If you don't think I do it to her, I do. Steven says some people are lonely and all they have are their, and that's fine. Again, you can love your dogs, you can love your cats. They're not the same as people. And I probably like animals more than people, but not my kids. That's all I'm saying. That's all that I'm saying. And I saw the Punisher one last kill. I saw John Wick. Uncle Clutch says, we have no dog, and if we did, we would film you. If you could bring a dog and you'll let me film it, I have somewhat a relationship with, so we're good. Stanley Everhart jumping in and saying, "Was this lady a vendor or someone there?" I think it. I think it was a service animal, but I didn't try and pet the dog. I just said, "Hey, look, there's dogs here too," and she's just a cunt. Sorry if I get demonetized on this one. I don't really care. Anyway, Tim Brower jumping in here saying, "Hello, Punk with Toys. Son of a Crayon Slayer has jumped in." All right. I think we're close to having everyone, right? All right. I totally forgot where I was at. This is what happens. You get me off on a rant and wasn't planning on going there. I mean, it's like that PTSD that I fucking got. Anyway, so if you want the shirts, the Joe Fest shirt, which I will be along with Ed, you know who will not be there? Matthew Matson. He's going to DFW. Well, you know, it's like, hey, you live there, you know, you can do 2 shows. You're allowed to do, Matthew, you're allowed to do 2 shows. That lady was straight up crazy. Ed, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And you know what? When she did that, that's when I totally should have did. I totally should have stopped and said, "Dude, you know I'm kind of a big deal, right?" Crow says not every service animal is an actual service animal, and it shows. No, no. This dog. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the dog. This is not an indictment on the dog. The dog was wonderful. A matter of fact, if there was a bullet, I would rather the woman take a bullet for that dog. And I'd take the dog home. And I'd fucking record it every goddamn day. Anyway, Cooter's Garage is jumping here saying, "Yo, Punk." Okay. If you notice, I dropped some reviews. I did get the Masters of the Universe Chronicles Skeletor, and yeah, it's a disappointment. I think it looks amazing. I was so excited after getting Scareglow. I'm not going down the Motu rabbit hole. I looked at Trapjaw, and I don't know. I think Skeletor looks awesome. The articulation, I mean, they're the one that says ultimate and articulation. I don't see where the ultimate articulation is. I thought it was going to have a soft goods cape. It has this hard rubber cape. I guess it's not the worst rubber cape, but it could be better. It's just there's a lot left to be desired. And after that Scareglow, I was like, man, they're gonna kill it. And sure enough, that came in, and I was like, the look's really good. I think the Havoc staff is good. But for $30, you get an extra set of hands and one weapon or one accessory. It's your property. Pretty, again, disappointing in my opinion. I know people have absolutely loved it, and it looks great. So it's not bad to have. I thought it was going to be better. That's all that I'm saying. Frank Damunia jumping in and saying, catching the replay. Well, it's great to have you for the short bit that you are. Mr. Wonderful says you should have cut the video of the dog, created a new YouTube channel, and live stream. You're replaying the short dog clip all day. I actually cut it out. I actually cut that out because I didn't want to have to run into that lady again, and maybe it popped up and have her confront me about it. I was not idea. I was just not happy. Like, I was pissed off about it. Yorktown Joe says, idea for next shirt, next t-shirt. I'm going to film your dog. That would work out pretty well, wouldn't it? But yeah. And then Nolan, which finally makes his Toy Tube official 40 minutes into the show. Thank you, Nolan, for jumping in here. But anyway, I got the Skeletor. I got the Archangel 97. I know not everyone is a Marvel Legends fan, but I do think if you look at that Archangel X-Men 97, you could probably turn him into a Cobra Law character. I'm looking at the color scheme of him. If you did a little bit of customizing, you probably wouldn't even have to. I mean, you could probably just make him, leave him how he is. You could probably work him into being Cobra Law, and I think you might be happy, and it'd be the easiest, um, the easiest kit bashing that you could do. That he's just there, but it is a pretty good figure. They at least he has one hand, like one trigger finger, so he can hold something. More than I can say for Falcon. And Falcon looks awesome, but he has these karate chop hands or salute hands for flying, and he has fist hands. I'll say it again, Marvel Legends, if anyone is listening, I know you're not listening, every single one of your figures should have a hand where they can pick stuff up. And I've had people in their videos go, what are they supposed to pick up? I don't know. A fucking coffee cup for all I give a shit. All right? A piece of paper, a gun. I don't care. People are doing photography. Make sure they have a hand where they can pick stuff up. They don't have to be trigger fingers. All right. They're Marvel Legends. I can cut the finger. All right. Take a razor blade. If you have a hand, a C cupping hand, you take a razor blade and you just slide it all the way up. It'll cut right through the soft plastic and you have a trigger finger if need be. But it's really aggravating. Like, seriously, they should all have some sort of hand where you can pick stuff up, because people are buying the stuff for photography. So do that. Just do that. It's way better. I got the 3D printed Fang, which I recently talked about. It's right there. It is beautiful. And it was funny because I did make a comment to Debo, I think after. I'm like, you must have been like, damn, he just got that Fans Hobby Fang. And he's like, yeah, he was like, I was shipping it and I shipped it out. And then that day, I think he said it went up and he was like, fuck. We got Stark Road jumping and saying Kazara and Dormammu have trigger finger hands. Well, there's a lot that have them. I'm just saying every single figure should have a hand that you can pick stuff up. And that should be like that with everything. But Marvel Legends are awful when it comes to that for some reason. Blue Barnella says they have to save the extra hand money for the 90th Wolverine of the year. Don't get me started on Wolverine, who can't pick shit up. He can either punch things, slice things, and that's it. Like, I bitched about that one too. Dominic Johnson says, great looking figure for Archangel. Underwhelming stream today, except maybe for the Hulk stuff, in my opinion. They said that they said it wasn't going to be a big stream, and I'm kind of the opposite. I really like the Professor Xavier, but again, I'm an X-Men 97 guy. So, but the other figure that I did get, and I know a lot of people got it, is the 250th anniversary USA Duke. And I don't care what anyone says. It's a good looking figure. And Woody, I know he made a comment. It's a good looking figure. It's not the colors that you're used to Duke wearing, but why some of us feel like these guys only have one uniform, they never change, makes no sense to me. It is not like the Super 7 250th, where the colors just look like crap. Although, like I said, I do like the Falcon. The colors work. And I'm going to be at Walt Disney World on the 4th of July celebrating 250 years of the United States of America. Yes, I'm going to say it right now. You can still love your fucking country. I know it's a bad thing to do. You can still love your country in this day and age. And I do. And you better believe that USA Duke is going to Disney World. He's going to be celebrating 250th anniversary. And there will be shots, if I remember, of the fireworks with Duke in it. And I'm trademarking that because I already had someone reach out and said, hey, I'm going to be there on the 4th. Maybe we could meet up. I'm like, that's cool, but do not copy me. Tony's face says fodder figure. You know what? I think he'd be a great fodder figure because the jeans Wow, the blue pants look awesome. Same with the shirt. Um, but I don't know, that figure may be worth a lot of money, so I don't really care to ruin it. All in all, I'd like it. I think it's fun. It is. It does pop. The blue visor is really good. Um, but yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it. And again, I figured Duke needs to go. I think I'm gonna have a special figure that I won't be able to show off everything, but I think I'm supposed to have a special figure that you guys probably won't see pictures for a whole year or so. We're gonna find out soon. Anyway, so there's that. Go check it out. I think you guys will enjoy that. This week I should have something from GI Customs. I did order the trailer for the dinosaurs. I have a Stinger that I've done some customizing to, or kit bashing. I think that will work perfectly with that. I got the display screen for either Cobra or GI Joe. Again, if you didn't see, Chaz did send me the sign with my name on it. Great work. So I'm looking forward to getting something different from him. So I'm kind of excited for that. And I did get the tracking number today, so it should go out. Hopefully I should have Muse and Bullseye sometime this week, as we've already been charged for it. And then I got the message that the Hulkbuster Punisher should be going out soon. So or they should be charging us soon. So hopefully that will get, when that gets charged, they will ship it out and not take too long. Ed here, America, fuck yeah. Bobby Wolf says, when eventually I get one of those 250th Dukes, I'm going to paint a Ram Cycle to go with him. See, that would be pretty cool. I'll say this. What they really should have done with the Duke, and I know they were just trying to do an easy kit bash, they really should have given him like a red, white, and blue jetpack. Make something a little bit different. He already had, again, it's the exact same buck as what was the exclusive with the jetpack, just with the different head sculpt. The cereal guy. Someone will tell me. I can't remember who it is. But yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things where I think they should have done something a little bit different. This was just a pure repaint. I can't. Starduster. Thank you very much, Starduster. I think it's one of those things that they should have, they should have done something a little bit different, and they should have announced that there's other figures. And I did hear someone say that, Sarge would be a perfect one, and I disagree, because for some odd reason, everyone seems to forget that Sarge turned his back not only on Hulk Hogan, but on the USA. So I don't think that he's a perfect one for the 250th anniversary. Just my 2 cents. Tim Brower saying, I'm still waiting on Professor Rotclaw and Dino from Nerdzoic. Dr. Mindbender and his Gigantosaurus pet are getting lonely. Yeah, I've never ordered anything from Nerdzoic, so I don't know how they are. Gun Bunny says, I got an epic APC and 3 asks from GI Customs, and they're super solid prints. Yeah, and again, I don't know that. I know I have what I got. I've talked to Chaz. Everyone seems to say the same thing. Gun Bunny, I'm definitely gonna trust what you have to say, because, again, I tell how good a product how good you do your customs, that for sure you're definitely I'm gonna listen to what you have to say. I guess what I was trying to say. 3 stars says they should have just given him an AK-47, since they went ahead and painted it like a commie flag. Are you really stuck on that, aren't you? I did say in the review that they probably should have done more than just 1 star. I will admit that. All right. So before we get into that, before we get into the toys, the news, I've talked about this topic before, and this came up again today. and that is people need to stop spreading misinformation. And this is a little different than things that we've discussed before and things like that. And the reason why I say this is today, Walmart dropped the next 5 pre-orders for the next wave. And people have been able to guess what they're going to be, but there is one that no one knows what it is. And I did see somebody post in one of the G.I. Joe forums. I forget who it is, but he posts as his group a link to his group, which again, poor form. I'm going to say again, totally poor form that you're posting your link to your group in someone else's group. Fucking poor form. I can't express it anymore. But he talked about the characters, and then he said the last figure, we don't know what it is. It might be Serpentor, because that crown might go. First off, so fucking just stop. All right. I've heard people say, I saw someone create a video that this might be the Baroness. We've already told you that it's Hooded Cobra Commander. It is King Cobra Commander. That is the crown that slots on him. It's okay to not know, and it's okay to speculate. But when you give this information, like you know something, when you know absolutely fucking nothing, this is the misinformation that leaks out, that gets fucking the crowd with their panties in a fucking bunch, and they tell you, oh no, this was reported. Just like all the people that run around and they say, no, the Hasbro team said they will not do water vehicles. They've never said that. It was an utter lie, and I even called someone out for it. He said, yes, they did. I go, then point me to the fucking video. And Airborne Customs said the exact same thing to him. Dude, they never said that. At one time, somebody asked about water vehicles, and they said something to the effect of, at this time, it doesn't make sense to do it. They never said they can't do it. This whole notion of like, oh yeah, they said something that they can't do water vehicles because they have to float. First off, flat out lie, because Hasbro did the Fortnite boat, which does not fucking float. It has nothing to do with that. It is, once again, this misinformation. And so I understand everyone and their fucking mother right now has a G.I. Joe fucking channel. And this is your way of clickbaiting people. Hey, come look at this. I think this might be Serpentor. It's not fucking Serpentor. Just fucking stop. You have no clue who it is. All right. And it's fine. You don't have to. You can speculate on it. But when you throw things out like that and you ignore what, it's not like I'm the only one saying that, hey, that's King Cobra Commander. It's been documented through numerous people. Everyone wants to spread this misinformation, and now there's this fifth, and we're going to get into the figures when we get to the G.I. Joe section. And I'll go through all of them because it's already been confirmed by the full force. So he's already put 4 of the 5 figures. The 5th figure you're never going to get. End of story. All right, just going to leave it at that. But the problem is, and no, this is not Viper Island. Okay, so I know people, I see the Viper Island. It's not Viper Island. Okay, I mean, he might have done something. I don't know. I don't watch his shit. But it's not Viper Island. But he does do the same shit. He does do the same stuff. But this is not anyone that I'm talking about. But it's just one of these things where it's like, you want to get people to your channel. You want to get people to your Facebook group. And that's good, right? I mean, again, we're doing stuff here. I'm putting videos out. I made the comment, hey, am I going to make it to 9,000 before Joe Fest? Hey, listen, we want eyes on our stuff. We want people to subscribe. We want people listen, watching, commenting, all that other good stuff, right? I'm not going to sit there and say you don't. But you're never going to hear me up here tell you something that something is that it's not. And when I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you that I was completely wrong. Mountain Heart. We were wrong. We were all told that's what the name of Sundown was. All of us. And we think that they did it so to see who was going to link stuff. And it's just one of those things where sometimes we're wrong. And we were definitely wrong about that. But there's just certain things that I see this on all the pages. And there's all these new YouTube, these Joe YouTube channels that are popping up. And hey, listen, YouTube is it's a big world. We're all allowed to survive. But when people are when they're growing their channel by throwing out misinformation or flat out lying about stuff, it is what ruins a community. And I don't care if it's G.I. Joe, Motu, Marvel Legends. Once you start lying about stuff so you can get these clicks, and then you have people running all over the internet saying, no, dude, I heard this. And then people start turning into I heard it from multiple sources. No, you didn't. You heard it from one person. Only one person spread that rumor because it's not true. They're the ones that started it. But it's one of those things where we're seeing it more and more because the classified line is not going away. Lenny left, Tony left. It's not going away. From my understanding, is the person that is taking over. The person, he actually did mention possibly Globulus, but I don't think so. It's not Globulus. I'll tell you that much right now, too. It's just. It's just disingenuous. Ooh, what the hell happened here? Hello. This is what happens when you're supposed to autofocus. There we go. It's just disingenuous. It's disingenuous to try and grow a channel, and you're going to do it by just leading people on and not have any actual concrete information. You're going out and you're getting stuff that you hear, and you're like, hey, I have to branch myself away and make myself stand out. And if I get four of these right, and I just throw this one out there and no one else is saying it, well, the people are going to fucking listen. So I'm actually not glitching. It's the autofocus that decided to not focus. Tim Brower says, I'm pretty much done collecting classified line. I'm looking for realistic military figures, not fantasy military. Well, good luck on that. It's definitely one of those things. But just, again, it's in Punk Headroom. This is the third time Max Headroom has been brought up. When I was at Sergeant Red's this weekend, and I met up with a couple guys, Rad Toys Galaxy and Zilla, and their wives and everything. I met up with them, and the one guy said, hey, Max Headroom, because he has a little Max Headroom down there, or bust. And then someone else mentioned Max Headroom again, just off. So, yes, I heard from a reliable source, Punk is a big deal. I am that reliable source. Cookster says, I'm just waiting on a couple of figures that I'll be lying low unless they release something worth collecting. And again, that's how, that's one of those things where, depending on how much you're into the G.I. Joe line, if you want to continue to go down that road. Not everyone wants to continue to collect the stuff that they're making. And that's okay. You don't have to. But their whole goal from day one, well, not from day one, their whole goal since they started shifting to doing a lot of a Real American Hero is to make new figures, to create figures, to create figures that are going to keep the line going, but also give you some of the classic A Real American Hero and not give you them all right away, because a lot of people are like you. Hey, I just want these figures, then I'm out. Well, They give you stuff like Sundown, hoping that you stick around long enough and you'll grab one and you'll be like, cool, dude. I really like this. I'm going to stick around, and they keep you in. So, GZ says, confirm next G.I. Joe is Max Headroom. Yes, that is, like, you guys got me. That is the one that's the one that no one knows that's up on Walmart right now. So if you don't know, Walmart put up pre-orders for the next wave of 5 mainline characters. And again, we'll get into that when we get to the G.I. Joe section, and I'll talk about them and who they are. I think most people already have seen them and they know them. If you watch the Full Force, he goes through and he tells you everything that they've unlocked. So TK Storm jumping in saying, I feel the same. I need Flash, Grand Slam, Thrasher, and Zanzibar, and I'm done. I'll keep watching for other cool releases, though. See, this is what I don't get, all right? What I don't get, and again, you can collect however you want. People only want, they're like, I only want these original G.I. Joes, and then I'm done. But then they tell me that they're collecting some other military line because it's different. And I'm like, well, but G.I. Joe is going to give you some different figures and new figures. Why? And I'm not telling you not to collect other lines. I'm just saying, well, so what's wrong with collecting the stuff that is new and different from G.I. Joe if you're still collecting new from elsewhere, from other people? Just one thing I don't understand. I'm just saying. Looking forward to Yojo June. Todd, see, I am too, and hopefully they give us some stuff. There was supposed to be a bunch of stuff, and hopefully it's still going to come out, but who knows who's actually doing it. Bryce jumping in there saying, I'm waiting for the 300th anniversary Snake Eyes. I'll be 100 years old if I make it. You might not be that old. Maybe more Snake Eyes on the way. You never know. Anyway, let's get into it. But before we do, I'm going to take a quick breather, as I need to do at times. Just take a quick breather, and you can listen to, I don't know. Here, this guy, he passed away like a year ago.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. So I'm sitting at home Monday night, and I get this DM from some guy named Tony, Legend Series. And he says, what you doing, Hawkster? I said, I'm watching Monday Night Raw. What are you doing? He's like, you got to turn on this thing called Monday Night Toy Ramblings on YouTube with this punk with toys. He's talking about you. So I want to turn on over and hear what this fool is talking about. And I turn it on, and all I hear him say is that he was at WrestleMania 3 with 93,173 of his best friends, and he was there when he watched me pick up that big, mean, ugly giant, and when I slammed him to the ground, he said he felt the Silverdome shake all of Pontiac, Michigan. It shook, and then that's when I realized that this guy, him and all his punkamaniacs that are running wild every Monday night, that it is the best thing going in Michigan that's ever happened. Maybe the best thing ever on Monday night. So, if you're sitting here right now and you're not paying attention, a punk with toys, Monday Night Toy Ramblings, this guy will talk about everything. And it doesn't matter what you do. You can buy your subs. You can hit him with fake copyright strikes. He's coming after you if you get on his bad side. So what you're gonna do when Hulkamania, when Punkamania, when they all run wild on you?
All right, so quickly here, I just want to point out a couple of things before we get into the news here. Russell Mew says, I like to see I don't understand the Hasbro. The Hasbro do something outside of the box. Like, damn, I need that. Well, the biggest issue with G.I. Joe was when they tried doing that, no one wants anything new. That's been their biggest problem. And Tony and Lenny talked about it. That, hey, maybe we're going to have some new figures coming this year that you've never seen before. And we got it with Sundown, and we have some people love it, some people hate it. And 3 Star is saying they better make good on June 3rd is the coolest thing of the year bit. Oh yeah. Well, that was before everyone left. So Todd C says, I want new characters with G.I. Joe, but military based. Uncle Clutch, I have to agree. He says, if Hasbro isn't making it, holler at a customizer. And you're absolutely correct. This is the only thing, though, and this has nothing to do with you as a customizer. If you do that, you ask somebody to customize it, and then 6 months later, they announce they're going to do it, you better not bitch about that you asked somebody. You know, oh, I spent $100 or 150 on this, and now Hasbro's going to do it. Yeah, well, you can guess they're probably going to eventually get to it. It's just when. Just like this Fang. I'm sure they'll eventually do a Fang. I have not heard anything about a Fang. So if you want one, right there. And Ninja Force 10K. I don't know if it'd be 10,000. Anyway. Jamie Garcia says, at this point, I've been getting variations of figures I love for over 40 years. That's exactly it. And again, you don't have to buy everything. But let's get into some of the news, or else we'll be here all day, all night, and I can't do that. And we'll start off with a little bit of Motu news, and we are getting Expandor. Now, I believe Expandor is every girl's dream. When they say it's 6 inches and she has to say, you need to expand that, you would be able to do it. I believe, once again, this is going to be a Mattel Creations exclusive where you actually have to pay for it. We actually have to pay for the rights to buy it. But if you want an Expandor, now they are really starting to grab those lesser known characters, but I love it, right? It's smart. Give these people what they want, even if it's going to, if it's got to be through Mattel Creations. This is what people want in G.I. Joe. They want the window Viper. They want stuff like that, right? It's something different. And Uncle Clutch says, correct. And the flip side of that is, once Hasbro decides to make it, I no longer make it. Monkey Wrench and Zanya are perfect examples of this. I like how they came out. Yeah, and again, believe me, I'm not criticizing you. This goes back to like my buddy Greg, who does 3D prints, and he's like, "Oh, I feel bad like charging this much because I know Hasbro's eventually going to do it." And I'm like, "No, just stop with that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Hasbro's going to do. Someone else wants to buy it. Let them. It's their choice. And again, I know you're not feeling bad, and you shouldn't. So, G.I. Jetman say, will vendors at Joe Fest have the new releases? Probably not. If anyone does, it's going to be a toy store. There's a few toy stores that are there. A few shops they go there, but if they're not out yet, they're not. No one's going to have them. Joe Fan 84 has jumped in. How are you tonight? All right, and then we get this thing here, and this is the slime pit. So here is the Horde slime pit. You see the dinosaur head above it. You see Hordex portrait inside of it, and yes, it looks like it is a slime pit. Now, it says action figures sold separately. I did not read anything about this. It almost looks like it closed, or maybe they hit it up. That would be super cool if there's a light underneath it. Though this He-Man doesn't look like it's an action figure. So I'm not really sure how this is done. And again, it just popped up on Toy News International, so that's where I got this from. But I know a lot of people have wanted the slime pit. It does look pretty cool. I'm not collecting this anymore, but this is one of those things where you could definitely definitely work this into your classified. Let's say you're once a man Cobra Commander. If you want to fill that thing with slime, then that's on you. I wouldn't ruin that figure. But hey, it might work perfect for you and everything. Look at this, Allison Troy jumping in just in time. I refer to my ex's new wife as Slime Pit. Here's something else. GZ saying bucket of radioactive slime. And let's see here. Yeah, Snow Wolf says it looks. I think it does, man. I do. Again, I think this looks pretty cool. And Joe Fan says, I refer to my ex-wife to a slime pit, Troy. All right, but that is all the Motu news. But we got McFarlane news, and Allison will be disappointed. Is that there's Woody's saying that's a must-have, huh? That's interesting because I don't think Woody's a big into Motu, but Allison's gonna be disappointed. I believe there's only one Batman. So first off, we'll start off with Helldivers. I have no idea what Helldivers are. What I do know is that Beast Battleground is absolutely in love with Helldivers, I believe. Oh, I did not realize you collect Origins. Why are you calling me a fool? Am I a fighter too? Am I a Foo Fighter? But here we go. We can see this bad boy right here comes with all of these weapons. It looks cool, but I have no idea what. I have absolutely no idea what Helldivers are. I think it's a video game, which I don't play video games, so. But I do like the fact that McFarlane is not just like sinking into depression that he can't make Batmans anymore after 2026. Render Boy jumping in saying Helldivers are cool as fuck. Hey, that's what I hear, man. Allison, only one Batman. Oh dear. Todd finally show restraint. Oh no, he's just waiting for the big reveal. Bobby Wold says they need some glow in the dark slime for whatever they got around to doing Cesspool and Eco Warriors. I'm not saying anything. Anyway, maybe you want to order a slime pit. Just saying. Maybe just go ahead and order that slime pit there for you, Bobby Wold. So here you go, the Helldivers. He comes with all this stuff. I have no idea how much this is, or else I would have the price up here. But Todd is like, hey, I have all this stuff. I'm going to give it to you. I would assume the licensing agreement isn't all that bad. But now on to a little bit of his DC stuff, because he can still make some stuff. Now, you can see there's no Batman, but there is a Robin. And this is from the Batman, the animated series. So, if I were to collect any of his stuff as of right now, this is definitely what I would pick up. I always liked the Batman, the animated series. He really nails the likeness, as there's no reason to reinterpret how they're supposed to look. When he does Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, all of those, there's different looks. He reinterprets them. He creates the cartoon in plastic form. And I think he does a really good job with each and every single one of these figures. They are smaller. I do believe that these are on a 6-inch, based on 6-inch figures. Articulation is different, but I'm actually okay with that. Just looking at these, you can see that they look way better than a lot of the other stuff that he does. So, and here's our Robin with, I don't know, is that a golf club? Is Robin blind now? That's what it looks like. I'm happy with the slime pit with Toxic Viper would be cool. Why do you bring up Toxic Viper? Toxic Viper. Is there a reason? But anyway, if you are, I believe this is Talia. Correct me if I'm wrong. I should have wrote it all down, but I had a lot of stuff to get done yesterday. I always like this little guy, and I think this one's actually really, really fucking cool. But yeah, if you are interested in Batman the Animated Series, Todd is still doing stuff. And now here is his Super Friends line that he is still doing. Now, if you notice, there are 2 Wonder Woman in there. There are 2 Superman in there. Have to get as much of that mold used as possible. And that's what he's going to do. So, I have no idea what this guy's name is. I can remember seeing him in Super Friends, but I don't remember him at all what his name might be. And here's a Mixoplex. I think I got that right. Mixoplex. Black Vulcan. Is it Vulcan or Black Vulcan? I don't know. The Black Vulcan. I would not have known his name. Like even saying that, I'm like, nope. I mean, I remember him. Here is Mixoplex with Superman working on the farm. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mixoplex. I was close enough. This is Translucent Superman. I don't remember this. Not at all. Oh, and that's just I had a soul brother. I highlighted him. I didn't say his name. Wait, hold on. GZ saying the scale variance for Uncle Todd's output is nuts. Oh, dude, his scale between his own fucking figures is nuts. This is the Kanan Superman. And then we have Wonder Woman. I think this is evil Wonder Woman. Tony, you want to fill me in? Is this evil Wonder Woman? She looks like she has those evil Vulcan eyebrows. And then we have this Wonder Woman. And yes, I specifically left this Batman last specifically for Allison Troy, as I know she absolutely loves Todd when he does Batman. Unfortunately, he's only created one Batman, at least in this wave of figures that we're seeing. That's it. That's all the McFarlane stuff. On the Super 7, I think we've seen this before. So these are these reaction figures, the Micronauts. I have no idea what this guy is, but here he is in toy form. I'm just gonna say this: he looks nothing like your fucking artwork. But if you want it, then you can get this. It is in O-ring form, although I don't think there's an O-ring in that. It looks like he's just gonna shift back and forth. Oh my gosh. You nailed it. He's a robotic version of Where the Wild Things Are. Holy crap. The fact that I know what fucking movie you're referencing also kind of shocks me. And I'm going to say this also to Woody. I'm going to highlight this. Your profile picture still creeps me out because it does not look like you. It just doesn't look like you. So it still creeps me out. Every time I see it, I'm like, that is not Woody. And here is, again, if you don't see Mork from Ork in this, I don't know what you're fucking looking at. All right. This is Mork from Ork. Mork and Mindy. I don't know if Mindy's coming next, but every time that I've seen this, I'm like, nope, this is, yeah, that's I know it's you, Woody. I know it's you. It doesn't look like what we see all the time because it's probably an older picture, and clearly your beard is a little different there. So, Billy Boys Toys jumping in. Hello, Punk. Hi, chat. Hope everyone is doing well. I hope so too. At least most of you. There's probably people hate watching that. I don't care if you're not doing well. But anyway, here's Mork from Orc. If you really want to see how an O-ring works, you can literally see the T-bar in his legs. Some of you might be thinking that's his penis. That is not. That is a T-bar that is holding his legs together. Some figures should not be translucent. Can we all just agree on that? Testro's cousin Ned. And Jamie Garcia is saying, one of my earliest memories of action figures is Mork with the egg ship. Mork Knox. I mean, I'm not the only one that sees Mork like Mork from Mork, right? Please tell me I'm not the only one. It's his ovaries. And Grizzlehorn says the OG version of these break like nothing else. I can believe it. But anyway, if you want these, Super 7 is doing them. And again, I applaud Super 7 on giving people things that they think they might like, that there's not a huge niche for them. I just think that they execute very poorly. On the Boss Fight Studios, one of my favorite places now because, you know, Lenny and Tony and Corey all work there. No. So these are 5.5-inch figures, if I am correct. These are the Immortal Champions. I think they're $35 each. And they showed these off a while back, or at least when they said they were going to be doing this. I think it's more supposed to fit with your Masters of the Universe, the cartoon line, the Origins line. So I have no idea what their names are. You should be able to get them over at BBTS if they're available. I like the weapons. It's kind of got that translucent sword. I'm going to say this, and probably some of you go, that's because they copied it. It kind of reminds me of the Savage Crucible swords they get. And yes, Immortal Champions. I thought I said that. But they're cool. And I'll say this again, Boss Fight Studio makes good figures. I think the plastic is really good. I've always enjoyed what they make. Just a lot of the stuff is not for me. A lot of fantasy stuff. And I think we're going to see a lot more fantasy. When I spoke to Lenny, they are, he's heading up the Sorzork Warriors and the Epic Hacks. So we're going to see more, I would assume more humanoid characters, but I also think that a lot of the reason why they wanted Lenny was his work on animals, the fantasy looks of stuff, like what he did with Cobra Law, the Dreadnoks, something like, stuff like that. I think that's a lot of the reason why they wanted someone like that. But anyway, if you are interested in these, I didn't want to throw them in here. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more stuff with Boss Fight Studios as the new guys get acclimated into it and they start to push out more of their own stuff. So it's going to be, pretty interesting. GZ says, with Motu Origins, the bulk articulation half squat pose. You mean squatty potty is what we refer to it as. It's the squatty potty look, but the Origins the Filmation, the cartoon characters, they don't have that squatting position. They actually stand, so they actually stand at that 5.5-inch, where most of the Origins figures are actually, I think, at like a 5-inch. Same with the original He-Man. They're based off 5.5, but they stand at 5 because they're always in a crouching position, the squatty potty. But I think this was meant to compete with them And then quickly after that, Motu was like, yeah, we're done with it. Kind of, but not really. So there you go. If you're interested, you can go pick them up. Again, I don't think most people are going to be disappointed with Boss Fight Studios. Jada. Now I'm gonna get through these because, honest to God, I know Mega Man. I know nothing about Mega Man, but I do know people love these Mega Man toys. Jada has killed it. I didn't want to get into these, not only because I don't collect Mega Man and really know Mega Man, but because it was just something else that was going to literally take shelf presence. And I'm just funny that he kind of threw this up there. I'm sure Lenny and crew will do well. I'm not a Hacks fan, but if they keep the whatever that is, but they're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. Because remember, Epic Hacks is just their 6-inch form. It's just their 6-inch form. So they have fantasy. They're having regular characters. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to get some military characters also. And I'm not talking about like an actual military line or anything. Zoo. Okay. Don't use big words here, boy. Don't use big words. I used a big word in our chat, and Ed was really, really shocked today. GZ says, I hope they don't forget us 1/18th guys, fan of their work and their side. So Lenny specifically said he's working on Epic Hacks. I don't think they're going to. I think they want to get into the 6-inch realm, but I don't think that they're. Yes, it's okay. It's all right. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I think that they want to get in the 6-inch line. And again, I do collect some 1/18 stuff, and I hope so. I hope too that they don't get out of it. Even though we know 1/18 is not nearly as popular as the 1/12 scale, there is still a market for it, and there's still a collector base for it. So, but it's just one of those things where he said he's going to be working on the 1/18th. Now, TK Storm says, I think Corey prefers 1/18, so maybe he will land the. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I know what it is. Vitruvian Hacks. I did not know that, because I know he's designed a lot of the 1/12 scale figures. So I didn't know that he's only in there. But anyway, if you want Mega Man, it is going to be available. There's more Mega Man. Again, Little Bird. I remember like seeing these types of things. And I remember like seeing these guys, but I have no idea what their names are. So, but they are inexpensive. I think they're $20. They might have even gone up a little bit because everything's gone up in price, but they were like 20. And they're cute. And the aesthetic is absolutely perfect. Into Mystery says it is Proto Man. I'm just going to believe you. How are you doing? How are you doing, Mystery? But anyway, it says, was he kicking that penguin? Looks like he's about to. He's either chasing it or he's about to punt it. Yeah, they're probably $24.99 now. But there's not a lot. I mean, there's so little and a lot of repaint. You can tell how much reuse is done here. Hopefully, they price that accordingly, because I've seen people that are really mad about G.I. Joe. A matter of fact, I heard someone complaining in Facebook group about how much reuse or repaints G.I. Joe has, and I was like, you might want to go look at the last 50 fucking characters. There's not that many repaints as you might think. A lot of reuse, but new characters, new overlays, stuff like that. Mega Man catch that blue pork. And here we go. My other moderator, Matthew Matson. Mamu Nestor say Proto Man is awesome. I also need a Snake Man. I'm not saying anything. As you can see, like again, there's a lot of reuse between these. But hey, no, Matthew's saying not a lot of reuse for Snake Man. They may be adding stuff. I mean, the legs look the same. It looks like there's an overlay on the body. Either way, I don't really care. Because there's a repaint here. So, Street Fighter 2 Ultra Blanca Player 2 Glow in the Dark version. Entertainment Earth exclusive May 19th. That is tomorrow at 12 p.m. I will post links to this for Entertainment Earth. So if anyone is interested, I will try and have this up at noon for you guys to click on and order. I was about done with the Player 2s, and now I'm like, oh, am I going to order this one? This is... Again, Blanca is a really good figure. Hard to argue with this. I will send it to you. I will. If anyone doesn't know, Woody is not on social media, so I just text him the links. I will make sure you get one tomorrow for sure. But this is Blanca, and does he glow in the dark like this? I don't know, but I want to believe that he does. I want to believe that he glows like Scareglow from Motu Origins. This is what I want, and in my heart of hearts, he better, because the Chested Cheetah glow in the dark sucked. If there was ever a glow in the dark figure or a glow in the dark character that should be a figure that should be glow in the dark for Street Fighter, it is Blanca, in my opinion. And I gotta say, I'm probably gonna order it. Yes, hopefully he does. I don't think it's a big secret how to do it, right? It shouldn't be a big secret how to buy that plastic and make it glow in the dark. So, but I will post a link to it tomorrow at noon. I have all the pictures out there. This popped up, there's nothing like I got my slides done, and then you come up here and you realize, shit, there's all that Marvel Legends stuff, and then there's this too. So there you go. On to Marvel Legends. Good thing I just happened to mention that. They did have a fan stream today. Wasn't a lot of stuff, but there is some stuff to talk about. Andrew Taylor says the Jada creature from the Black Lagoon glows great. That's good. Like, again, I was super disappointed. I know I'm not the only one. The glow-in-the-dark Chester Cheetah sucks. Yeah, Chester sucked because he was red. Red glow in the dark is always. Then you shouldn't have done it. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? They just shouldn't have done it because it was so bad. Well, he just told you the creature from the Black Lagoon. No, actually, Jada has. I have a glow in the dark Blueberry, which glows pretty well. So they're hit or miss. I mean, for sure. Now, I can't even say Chester Cheetah is the worst glow in the dark that I have, because I do have a Super 7 glow in the dark Snake Eyes, which we'll just leave it at that. Marvel Legends. Hawk 2099. This goes up for pre-order May 21st. $46.99. This is the last of this wave. There was 3 different Hulk figures that they put out. If you are a fan of the 2099 series, this is for you. We know we've seen Spider-Man 2099. So it's one of those ones where it's like, I have no connection to this. I thought I had the comic. I thought I had this comic, but I don't think that I do, because when I was selling my comics, I don't remember finding it. But 2099 Hulk, he has two alternate heads, one with the big long tongue, which I definitely do remember on the cover art, him having the big long tongue. I don't remember the hair, but I also technically was not reading it that much. Doom 2099 is good. Action figures sold separately. Says, how are you doing? Great to have you here. And then we have Fiddle Chips. I don't favor the design. I don't like this either. And again, it's not for everyone. If it's something that you want, awesome. Again, this is where I will say it again. We don't have to like everything. We don't have to buy everything, but be happy for the people that are getting something. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying in general. So here is the box. I'm not gonna lie. I really do like the Marvel Legends when they're so big that they barely fit in the box. Then yes, I know they can make a bigger box, but it gives a presence. Like, hey, this figure is larger than life, and it's, again, I think it's a smart move on their part. So if you want this, it will go up in a couple days. I will try and post links to it. And then we get the Future Foundation Fantastic Four. I did not know that Spider-Man was part of the Future Foundation and not Johnny Storm. And I'm not saying that this is not true. I'm just saying I did not realize it. They said that this will go good with your Dragon Man if you have Dragon Man. I only knew the Future Foundation because of the Dragon Man that I got. This goes up for pre-order on May 20th. So in 2 days, I believe this is all fan channel exclusives. So Amazon, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, everything, which means fan channel means everywhere except Target and Walmart, if anyone is wondering. All these figures are going to be in white. This is a 2-pack. Mr. Fantastic, I mean, I think they did a really good job with all the hands and everything that they gave them. They do look good. They are on bendy wire. They specifically talked about it, which I think is actually pretty cool. But this is, one of those where it's like, it's not the Fantastic Four that I think about, but I'm not a huge Fantastic Four guy. By that, I mean I'm not a Fantastic Four guy at all. Pop Blender jumping in here, a member for 29 months. And this poor guy, he's sick. He doesn't look good, but
fucking Phil Collins.
You still get that. Thank you very much for being a member for 29 months. That's over 2 fucking years. How is that even possible? How is that even possible that I've been doing a show for that long? But here you go. I think it looks good. And I think they integrate his stretching limbs pretty well. I don't know why this doesn't creep me out, but Dhalsim does. Here is white and black Spider-Man. I did not know that there was a white and black Spider-Man like this. But there is. I know someone will tell me, someone will probably shoot me a message on how Spider-Man fits in the Fantastic Four for the Future Foundation and Johnny Storm doesn't. I don't really need you to. I have Google. I could look it up. But if you want this, it's going to go up there. And I will try and put links out to all of this stuff when possible. All right. I think Spider-Man does look pretty cool in white and black. But I think a lot of stuff looks really cool in white and black. Just gives you that black and white feel. But again, you get the hands, the long extended arms. As I said, for some odd reason, this doesn't creep me out. But Dhalsim really, really, really dead. Oh, so Johnny is dead at this point. That is interesting. So they were like, we need Spider-Man. I just don't think I don't see Spider-Man as like a team guy. Not that he's like, he's Spider-Man, dude. He doesn't need a fucking team. Anyway, Allison Troy, member for hold on, member for 36 months.
Fucking Phil Collins.
3 years is 98 years in McFarlane Batman figures. Wow. Hold on. RetroCap says, why does the new logo say? What does the new logo say? It's Future Foundation. That's what that's supposed to be. If you're talking about that. If you're talking about my new logo, I don't have one. So I'm like, do I have a new logo? Do I have something up there that I'm not supposed to? Then the next 2-pack, which goes up on May 27th, is The Thing and Sue Storm. And I gotta say, The Thing looks really good. I think Sue Storm does too, also. But I gotta say, the tank top, and I mean it, like if G.I. Bro does not get this figure, it is an atrocity. Like this guy, look at him. He's got arms like G.I. Bro. He's got the tank top like G.I. Bro. I know he's a military guy, but seriously, you need to get this. The tank top in these pictures, it has a look like it is like it's a soft good. Like when they move, just the way that it's formed, it makes it look like it is a soft good there. So I don't know. Like I think this looks really good, but I have no interest in the other 2 figures. So the question is, do I just buy all 4 of them so I have a Fantastic Four? But then I'll probably end up, because I eventually want to have an actual Fantastic Four group, but this is not how I think of them. But I think this thing looks really awesome. And the Sue Storm comes out looking good too. They said she's on the super articulated buck, which I don't know why every single one of the females isn't. If you don't have one of the super articulated female bucks, a lot of the Black Widows are on it. They're great. The plastic feels good. They articulate amazingly. So, but she has 2 head sculpts. Now, on the pictures, I did not see anything that showed me everything that she comes with. Like we saw the Mr. Fantastic and Spider-Man, and we saw everything that it came with, but I couldn't find anything with this.
The freezer got left open like a sliver.
Okay.
The ice cream is like super, super soft, and it's like a decent, like a little bit of frost, but it's not.
It should be fine.
Everyone's defrosted. Okay. Hey, bud.
But I don't know everything she comes with, but I think they're throwing a lot of stuff in here because they know they're going to be a giant size price tag on this because the thing is large. But she looks really good. Great for customizing. But that thing is... And that might just get me to buy this whole thing. But I think she looks good too. Don't touch my ice cream. He has his own ice cream because he doesn't like the stuff that I buy. Ooh, J Solo Art says the Heather Locklear looking head has, and that's what I was thinking. I don't care for this one that much. That looks more like a 60s hairdo, but this one is good. And Marvel Legends has killed it with some of theirs. But yeah. Yeah, if he goes, and so this is one of those ones where, again, I will say, if you want something, and I'm not saying you do, if you want something, you don't play clearance chicken with it. But if you're one of those guys where you're like, I like it, I don't need it, but if I see it on sale, that's when you're supposed to play clearance chicken with stuff. There's no doubt about it. So, but yeah. I think this looks really good. So I think the more I look at this, the more I'm like, this is definitely a hit for me. Does he have a different head sculpt? Yeah, so Thing has different head sculpts. So he has a grinning face And then here he has a closed face. And obviously he has a couple extra hands. All right. So here is the 3-pack of Spider-Man, Lizard, and Electro. They're 1967 3-pack. This is the first SDCC exclusive for 2026, $85 price point. Now, I truly have no interest in this. I definitely don't need a Lizard that looks like a Geico. He's going to sell me car insurance. I already have car insurance. I'm good. But I'm sure there's people that are going to want this. This has some pretty cool accessories. But I'll just wait to them till they give me accessories with a figure that I'm more interested in. Let's be honest. They really have to give us more of these beakers and stuff. But this will be available at San Diego Comic-Con if you are going. And then it will go up on Hasbro Pulse either right before that or maybe... Sometimes they go up the week. Sometimes they go afterwards. But yeah. Fiddle Chip says, Silly Lizard is an absolute buy. Like the Ditko-ish Peter Parker head sculpt. See, I have no connection to that. And I'm not a big Spider-Man guy. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are people definitely want this stuff. And I'm happy for them that they're going to get something like this. Here is our Electro with his star. Every time I see this guy, I think of the Nintendo wrestling game and the guy with the star. That's all I think of. Full price for all 3 figures, but you're getting a lot in the pack of all the packaging, so it's definitely worth it if you want it. You know. If there's only one figure that you're interested in, then probably not. But you can probably sell these figures. But you're absolutely right. Again, $85 for 3 figures and a bunch of accessories. I mean, it's the going rate these days. Allison says, Geico Lizard is cute. This looks like my ex's middle brother when he got addicted to meth. Oh, he looks like Grasshopper from Ants. Or was it Bugs Life? I think Bugs Life, but I know what you're talking about. So here he is riding. I'm assuming he comes with these effects. Does he come with I don't know if he comes with the phone lines though. Now, what someone said, this is the design of what they were doing. I think this face sculpt looks awful, but if it looks correct to what was being shown at the time, then awesome. Go for it. Get it. I think it looks awful. I do like the Spider-Man mask. They need to do more stuff like this. This is the type of stuff when I say, like, hey, give them little accessories to offset that price point of $28, right? Classified does it, but you just give us a few little things here and there, whether it be comics, beakers. It doesn't even have to go so much with the figure, as long as you're like, hey, this is world building, and you can use these for other things. Jason Laura says Hasbro's math is worse than Steiner math, 28.33 per figure. No, that's not bad at all. Because if you look at remember, these are San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. So these are supposed to be a little more. That's the other thing you got to remember. There's going to be a lot fewer of these than other figures, and these are the ones that end up going in price, right? Hasbro math, when they give you 2 G.I. Joe figures and they cost more than 2 normal figures, that is true Hasbro math. Again, I go to Costco to buy things in bulk for less. But if you want these, they are available, and they do give you pointy fingers. This is the first time a Spider-Man has pointy fingers. And I know people are like, well, why am I going to buy? I'm not buying 2 packs of these just so I can point at each other. Technically, you need 3, right? But you can put this hand on another one of your Spider-Men, and they can be pointing at each other saying, no, you, no, you. I think it's cool to do stuff like this, right? Throw this in there. These are little things that we want. Toy photography is such a big deal these days, and this is exactly where you want to be making things work. And this works for me. All right. So there you go. You want pointy spider? You got it. But I think this looks awful. But again, if this is what it looks like in the comic, then good. There's someone that's saying, hey, this is what I really like. I bought that stupid, 77 Spider-Man. I ordered him. He's up there somewhere. I actually like him. But yeah. Stu for Lunch says, if you don't get these, can you even call yourself a toy collector? How would you be able to look yourself in the mirror? Pretty easily. Fiddle Chip says, look up Ditko Peter Parker. Is pretty, and that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I think it looks awful. But if it is the Ditko look, then awesome. Like, again, I don't read back and stuff like that. And that's, again, this is what I love about it. This is what I love about toy collecting. And I know other people, they'll lose their mind and tell you how awful this is and how stupid this is and no one really wanted it. Again, you don't have to buy everything. And I think it's great that people are getting stuff. And again, I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan. I have Maximum Spider-Man. I don't need another Spider-Man. I have my Ben Reilly Spider-Man, I have Maximum Spider-Man, and I have 77 Spider-Man for some odd reason. Now, if you do Maximum Spider-Man or Better Articulated Spider-Man Ben Reilly, I'll probably buy that again because I like one with better articulation. But not for $100 price point. Like was it Mafex one? But anyway. All right. And then we get this. X-Men 97 Professor Xavier and Hover Chair. Completely redone. SDCC 2026 exclusive. $50 price point. Now, on the bottom of this, it is what is making it hover. And they said, this was our hint that we gave you. And everyone was like, Havoc. And they were throwing out all these other people. And he's like, no, it was just a base for this. I'm like, that's fucking cruel. Although you can see that Xavier kind of does have one behind him. So I believe this is a fully new sculpted Xavier from 97 with the hover chair. Obviously, again, the only vehicles that I feel Marvel Legends can make are hover chairs and bikes or scooters. They made that sky sled or whatever that is for Hawkeye, but again, G.I. Joe seems to be the only ones that can create something vehicle wise. So if you are interested in this, here is I didn't know that Xavier had guns. I absolutely love this shot because I saw this picture and I was like, this looks like Xavier's like flipping through the attendance schedule while he's just leveling. He's just leveling people while he fucking takes them out. And I just kind of laughed. I'm like, this looks like he's just like, all right, and those guns are just fucking going off, and he's just scrolling through it. What he says, those cannons are hilarious. But they're hidden, so I'm good with that. Billy Boy's Toy says, does anyone remember the old Star Trek Next Generation episode with the old dude in the wheelchair, and then he turns young Yeah, that looks like that wheelchair. Was it Captain Picard? Because that's who's sitting in there. Shelf presents, I'm with you. If I can get this, I'm definitely going to get it. As is X-Men 97, and I am trying to get all the X-Men 97 stuff. So, but I really do like this. Now we have had. I actually have a whole shitload of these Cerebrals because I kept buying up those figures when they were $12.99. They make great custom fodder. Here is Angry Xavier. Now again, it looks much better as when the guns aren't blasting. So I saw this one and I was like, you remember when your O-ring figures, they get like their legs would get so loose. I'm talking about G.I. Joe. They get so loose you couldn't stand them. They need to do an Xavier like that. That his legs have absolutely like, there's no way to stand them. They're just dead fucking legs. So you can never stand him. That is what we absolutely need. That is exactly what we need in an Xavier, where his legs are just so fucking loosey-goosey that he can't sit there. Flopping leg Xavier, exactly. Now, this is actually funny. Crow says, Dr. Mindbender gets all my Cerebrals. It's funny that you say that, because literally... There's my Dr. Mindslaughter, my custom Dr. Mindslaughter, sitting right here next to me, as he always is. So it's kind of funny that you said that. Remove that real quick. But yeah, I think they should do a total floppy leg. So it's like you cannot stand him, and you can't complain. Like when people would call Hasbro and be like, dude, his legs are super fucking loose. Like, you can't even stand. And they're like, that's how he's meant to be. Have you ever not seen him? He's fucking paralyzed. Soft, good legs. You do soft, good pants, but there's no fucking plastic in it. You just put some stuffing in it, like with your pillows. And I did see the preview, because it's if you go to Marvelous News, you will see the preview of X-Men 97 season 2. Someone took a pretty good video of it from whatever con that they recently showed it at. It's kind of like on an angle, but the picture is pretty fucking clear. So if you're interested, you can go check that out, but after my show. So anyway, there's the hover chair. And again, Woody, as you can see, you can hide the guns, which I can't imagine I would ever have the guns. Unless if you used it for, like, let's say Cobra Commander's been injured and this is what he has. But supposedly it must have it somewhere. Fiddlechip says Dr. Mindbender is a much better dresser. He deserves the hardware. I was about to say if my dentist ever comes out shirtless, but my dentist is a female, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But there you go. This is the SDCC exclusive. Again, there's 2 of them. So bigger brands are going to get multiple SDCC exclusives. And this is kind of creepy. Like Xavier's just like imagining all the floating heads of his X-Men. Like, where have you all gone? Shelf Present says Dr. Mindbender juicing up on a super soldier roids, putting science to the most important use, body sculpting. Yeah, I don't want my dentist to be like, you can hear him doing push-ups in the other room before he comes in to drill into you. All right. So here's everything that you're going to get. You can see there's different panels. It does give you the blast effects. He has the yelling hands. Once again, he should not be standing. He should have soft, good legs, as Gun Bunny said. I just thought it'd be awesome. Like, I was looking at it when it was standing, and I'm like, they should really make it so you cannot stand him, that he just collapses. Every time you try and stand him, he just collapses. It would be poetic justice. So anyway, if you are interested, this will go up sometime after SDCC. If you're at San Diego Comic-Con, buy one and ship it to me, please. Anyway, it is in a VHS box. So they're basically watching it on TV. You're looking at the X-Men 97, although this would have to be 97 because that's a different morph. And I gotta say this, in X-Men 97, right at the end of the trailer, they have a funny little 90s blurb about laser discs, and you'll probably laugh at it. You'll get a good giggle on it. So, and on the side, it has like these stickers. They talked about it, but again, I like this. They did the same thing with the Mojo. They did something similar to this, and I like this. You know, again, this is exclusive. You know, this is the type of stuff you're actually paying for. These are the boxes that I keep all my boxes because I have issues. But this is the type of stuff that, you know, that you keep. It's going to be worth a little bit more under normal circumstances. Can't say that for everything, but usually the SDCC stuff is worth a little more. All right. Ramen toys. Woohoo! Okay. Let's talk ramen toys. I like Ace. Ace is a very polarizing owner. If you don't know who Ace is, he's the owner of Ramen Toys. He can be very polarizing. He is doing a Knight Rider. This is an official Knight Rider. This is not one of the bootleg figures. I just do a factory here. If you go, I can't see it. These are the same people that I believe are also doing Battlestar Galactica. And he had a very interesting conversation with a Knight Rider aficionado who basically reamed him out because this is not an authentic kit. Wow. Now, I will once again say it. When you are an owner or CEO of a company, you're supposed to conduct yourself a different way. You don't conduct yourself the same way I would. This goes back to a couple different owners in the toy community. But he was showing all the messages going back and forth. And this guy really did attack him over a fucking goddamn toy. Now, let's be honest. He probably already has an idea to reuse this mold to just be a regular style Trans Am. But this is Michael Knight. It is $300 because he said that, hey, we'll keep it at $300. But I don't think you can watch it. I'm sure there's still screenshots. Very, very interesting. I'm just saying that. 610 Yojo Daddy jumping in here saying, what's up, Pong? Sorry I'm late. Have to catch up on the replay. Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Yes, please do that. We got Fatrid jumping in here saying, did we get to the topic yet? Hello. We did not. We did not. Shelf Presence, he saw the X-Men 97. The season 2 trailer was great. I can't wait. It should be very fun to get us some very cool figures. Yes, so just what I need. More fucking toys and shelf presence I don't have. Baldilocks jumping in here, and let's see here. Baldy, is there a Circle of Jerks tomorrow? Are we getting back together? Are we going to allow Tony, who, as I mentioned earlier, Tony pretty much broke up the Circle of Jerks by deciding to go on with GI Customs, and then he sent us. I thought this was very rude. After that, he sent us in our group text a big fuck you. I have gone back to Gucci. I will be once again joining my old crew on Wednesday nights, and I don't need the Circle of Jerks anymore. I thought it was very rude. So Baldy, I'm just wondering, are we going to try and continue Circle of Jerks 2.0 tomorrow? It's on your channel. You got to let us know. All right, and then quickly.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Pop Blender with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much. It's a celebration, bitches. My son graduated tonight, so I'm spreading the joy. It's actually for back rent punk, by the way. I'm going to buy the ramen kit car. For some damn reason, I'm stupid. I'm not going to lie. I'm really contemplating it, but I also know how much stuff is coming off of classified, which scares me. Not only for the cost, but for the space. Tripwire jumping in saying, I want this. I think this is going to be, yeah. I think this one's going to be a big seller for him. Shelfred says, left my ass off. Ace takes crap from no. Ace takes no crap and gives no fucks. No, he doesn't. But again, as a CEO, you need to conduct yourself differently, right? It's just how it is. You need to conduct yourself completely different. As again, you are a CEO of a company, so that's just how you're supposed to do it. But not everyone does. We see that all the time. Just Jeff saying Chuckles could rock that shit. You're absolutely correct. You have different license plates. I think that was an issue with this kit aficionado. We'll just call him. And GZ says he should be more professional. Yes, some people do need to be told to fuck off more often. That guy should go buy a 40-year-old car and restore it. And that's the whole thing. And you nailed it. As a CEO, you may want to do something, but sometimes you have to not. Because now, again, this is not the first time Ace has lost it. And again, I like Ace. I've talked to him both times at Joe Fest. We've had lots of conversations. Really nice guy. And people could be like, dude, you've gone off on people. And you're absolutely correct. I have, but I also am not running a company and I'm not trying to grow it. I'm trying to grow a brand, but I do understand sticking up for yourself. This one to me was a little different though. Where I think he had every reason to stick up for what he did. The problem is when you've had a history of kind of losing your cool, now it's just like, well, par for the course. He's going to lose his cool. And now everyone knows they can goad him into stuff. And again, I don't think this guy was. I don't think this guy was, but because that guy's a pompous asshole. I mean, he should carry a fucking whip with him. Baldylocks says, yes, the band will reunite minus Tony, but he'll be on as a special guest. I guess we can keep him on as a special guest. Oh, look at this. I'm on the bus tomorrow. I'm shutting you all down. So if he's on the bus tomorrow, Baldy, does that mean on Wednesday he doesn't work? So he's going to go back to his old boss. His old Gucci boss. I'm going to say probably. So if you want to see Tony, you have to go to another show. But the Jerks, I guess we will be back and we will be we will cover it. Pop Leonard says, I'm agreeing on the CEO conversation. It's not a great look. However, Ace makes great toys, so people let it slide. But eventually it gets to a point that some people will stop. I mean, I've seen people say stuff about Ace. So again, it becomes that point where at some point you're just known as that person. I think, okay. And I'm gonna give an example here before we get into some G.I. Joe and then into the topic. So I was watching Woody on with NorCal Voodoo, and they were talking about stuff, and Woody brought up how he said, when I got into when I got in and I started watching YouTube, I totally idolized a punk with toys. And everything that I ever wanted was to be on his show. And I found it wasn't exactly how it went, but that's how I heard it in my head. But either way, NorCal Voodoo, he made a comment and he goes, oh, punk is something else, man. Like, he doesn't do it all the time, but he does it enough where he'll just chuck a figure across the room that isn't any good. And this is perception. I tossed a Savage Crucible figure and I threw the Falcon figure. I've never thrown another figure. I've gotten mad, but I've never thrown it. But people now perceive that I've done that numerous times when in actuality, there was a toss onto this desk right here of the Savage Crucibles. And there was when I turned around and I chucked the Falcon. If I did it another one, I don't remember. So, and that's something that I did. But the perception is now that, and again, I listen, yes. One was a medium toss. That was the Savage Crucibles. The Falcon was a full-on chuck. But that's the perception that people think like, hey, he might lose it and he'll fucking throw it. It happened on one video. I don't do things for effect. And that's exactly what they were actually saying. They're like, he doesn't do things for effect. But that's not kind of the perception that people think that, hey, you know what? This guy will lose it and he might throw the fucking figure. I don't. If I would have, I probably would have thrown. I was a little disappointed in the Falcon figure that I got this weekend. But it's definitely one of those things where perception is everything. So if Ace gets that perception, that's what people are going to see, unfortunately. And it's disappointing because he makes really good product. And that perception goes so far. It really does. And there are people that will walk away. And they'll walk away. I've done it to a company that I refuse to buy their product. And he can say, hey, I don't give a shit what he fucking buys. Skeletor did not go flying. I didn't hate Skeletor at all. Now, there are parts that go flying when they slip out of my hands that I will agree to. Not Rachel jumping in here saying, how bad was that figure? You didn't even throw Zanya. I would have had to throw Zanya in like 5 different parts. The Falcon figure, if you go back and watch it, is the Marvel Legends Falcon from Captain America, New Day, or whatever it is. I could not get the wings to go on properly, and I had just lost it. The Savage Crucible, I couldn't get him to stand. You guys never actually saw how long I fought with getting them to get in different stances, and they wouldn't stand on the Productive Susan. That's the reason why I tossed that. But yeah, that's all I'm saying is like there is a perception that happens. And if you do that, that's what people think of you. And sometimes it's better just to be quiet about it. Allison says, maybe you need a better Lazy Susan. Again, it's a productive Susan. Right, Tony? It's a productive Susan. My ex's name is Susan. She said she always hated the term lazy Susan because technically that Susan is doing work. So I renamed it the productive Susan. But I'm talking about there it is. See? Productive. So the turnstiles that everyone has, they're called productive Susans. So you see Bobby B, he puts his figures on the little turnstile. That's a productive Susan. It is productive. Its name is Susan. The funny thing about this is my ex actually finds that actually comical, which is shocking to me. And Allison says, my lazy Susan doesn't do anything until I spin it. So that's not very productive. I'll let you hash it out with her. I'm just telling you. Tony doesn't remember shit, but Tony remembers the productive Susan. And I've even heard him call it that in his reviews and on video. So, but anyway, that's it. But let's get to some G.I. Joe news. And Walmart did it again. And they put up pre-orders for 5 figures. 5 figures that are not out yet. And they haven't really announced them, although we have kind of talked about them. Now, this went out. The next mainline classified listing, there are these code names. So Feral is Mistress Armada. Hippocampus, I think it's supposed to be hippopotamus. I don't know what that is Iceberg. Dr. Street is Rugged Duke. Rugged Duke is not Energon Duke. Professor is Toxo Viper. And Stupendous is Unknown. They've gone up early for pre-order on Walmart, expect a few more to sneak out on the lead up to Yojo June. All right, so this is what I was talking about at the end of the monologue of the show. So this is what went out. So we have Mrs. Ramada. They've already talked about Iceberg, Rugged Duke, and the Toxo Viper. So the things that we're hearing, and this is what I'm saying, stop spreading misinformation. Rugged Duke, it has been said that it is not Energon Duke. It is a rugged looking Duke, completely different, not one that anyone has ever seen before, something supposedly created. People still want to call it Energon Duke, and it sounds like perhaps it was supposed to be Energon at one time, but it is changed. And they said it doesn't look like what he wore in the Energon universe. Again, I don't read the comics, so I really don't know. I do like Lawrence the Tosser. Lawrence the Tosser. So once again, Walmart put these up for pre-order, $28. You can go ahead and get them if you're looking for them. But anyway, so this is all that's going on, and they've talked about them already. Again, rugged, and people are saying like, "Hey, this is Energon Duke. It's not supposed to be Energon Duke." From everything that I'm hearing, the misinformation is this unknown character that people are, I've heard people say that, again, I heard someone say that, the crown, it goes to, they think it might go to a Baroness, because if you look at early drawings of the Baroness, she has a crown. Someone said that this might be Serpentor. It's not fucking Serpentor. They're throwing all this stuff out there, and they're acting like they have some inside knowledge. And basically they're trying to point you to links to their own stuff, which again, while you're in a group sharing stuff to your own group, It's just poor form, man. It's no different than coming into my chat to promote your own fucking shit. It's just, it's just not there. Not there. I don't know what the hell that meant. It's not cool. You don't do that. But it's one of those things where don't try and spread something or try and get people to, I mean, again, come up with an idea and say, hey, I have thoughts of who this might be. But when you read how they're trying to say it, they're throwing something so outlandish just because they want to do the clickbait. And I think most of you guys know I hate the fucking clickbait. And people might say, hey, you've done the clickbait saying Hooded Cobra Commander. No, I reviewed the figure and then I show you how I can make it be Hooded Cobra Commander. So, quickly, I saw Tripwire say something here. Tripwire says, what the fuck is Hasbro doing? Another Duke? If they did it. Right. What the fuck is Hasbro doing another Duke if they just did a Duke? Fuck you. Not really. I mean, the 250th anniversary Duke it's literally a special. It's a special Duke. So why wouldn't you do it? I understand there's all these different iterations that they can create. So there's nothing wrong with it. They're giving us more than enough new characters. You look at this, Mistress Ramada, never had. Iceberg, never had. All right, Toxo Viper, never had. This unknown character, I'm telling you right now, never had. Okay, well here's the whole thing. You say space them out. Rugged Duke was already there, and they probably said, oh shit, we should do something for the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. So you already have it in the line of what you were going to do. So again, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's a character, and you can make him whatever you want him to be. And you don't have to have them. Just remember that. Crestio Crow says, we are always between the next Duke, Snake Eyes, Slaughter, or Coco. You're pretty correct on that. Woody says it's just going to be Duke with like a torn shirt and some dirt on his pants. Negative Ghost Rider. But what I'm going to say about this figure, that no matter what you guess, you're never going to get it. Right? We'll just say that. So this unknown character, you're never going to get it. So I would tell everyone who is saying that it's Serpentor or whatever, the answer is you're wrong. Just you're wrong. Just, I guess you can guess, but don't try and act like you have some inside knowledge when you don't. It's just how it is. But everyone is popping up. Everyone wants to have this. Everyone wants to have everyone wants to have a classified channel now. Everyone that collects, they want to do it. And so, again, you have to create your own niche when you're doing YouTube. I've said it numerous times. I've talked about this 100 times. You have to have your own niche. So it's just one of those things where have your own niche, but don't try and pass it off like you have some sort of inside information where that you don't. It's just it's poor form. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, there you go. These are up there on the Walmart site. Trying to think of how you can get to them. if you really, again, these are mainline releases, so I doubt that you're going to see them pop up ahead of time. I did pre-order them just because I'm like, well, let's just see. What I don't like about pre-ordering from Walmart is they like to charge you ahead of time, and it's like, motherfucker, I don't have it. You're just you're collecting my money and you're sitting on my interest. And if I cancel this, and let's say I pay off that credit card, well, now I'm going to have credit, and maybe I just use that credit card for this. So I don't really like them doing that, but Walmart's going to fucking Walmart. So you guys keep guessing. Guys keep guessing. Okay. I Shane, it is not Jetman. Jetman is not the secret character. So that I can tell you. But anyway, Bobby Vela. I mean, do I need to say it? I'm assuming you're talking about who is the other owner of the company that just doesn't act like a CEO. There. All right. So the topic is vehicles. And this is the shit that I hear all the time. This is what I hear all the time. Hasbro is losing money not putting this out. Yeah, yes, he is also not the new character. I will confirm that. He's also not the new character. So what I hear is they're losing money. They're not putting this out, leaving money on the table. They let Fans Hobby make a Skyhawk, and they haven't. They let Fans Hobby make a Fang. They're losing money. So I just want to go over some of the vehicles that we hear about, right? And I'm going to tell you why no one agrees. Why this is absolutely wrong. And why no one wants all of this stuff. So we hear about the Triple T. Oh, dude, they need to make this. They got Sarge out. They need to make this. They're just leaving money on the table. It's not that big. It's not that big. This is a $110 vehicle, right? At least a $110 vehicle. It has to be classified up. They're leaving money on the table, not doing this. Okay. You're correct in many ways. All these images are from Yojo.com. I did not give Jojo credit because fuck them and whoever bought them. Super Devin jumping in here saying Vamp Mark II with Desert OG Clutch. Let's go Hasbro. That's funny that you mentioned that. This here, the skiff. You know, oh, dude, like Zanzibar. We need Zanzibar and we need a skiff. Do you really? I mean, you're looking at this and you're looking at probably a $55 to $75 price point to get this skiff. And what are you going to reuse it for? That's the biggest thing, right? How are they going to reuse it? Do I think we'll get this? This is something I could definitely see us getting. I don't think right now Zanzibar. I haven't even heard any inklings of Zanzibar coming. But this is one of those things that they say, hey, you know what? They're leaving money on the table. The Armadillo, or as I always call it, the mini tank, because I think the Armadillo is a dumb name. You know, this is something they can make. It doesn't need to be huge. You know, they should have put Steeler with this. We heard that, right? They should have put Steeler with this. Money left on the table. Just right here. And yeah, this is a nice small little vehicle, but small little vehicles do start to take up space. And something like this to fit a classified figure in, you're looking at over the $60 price point. And the $60 price point is now the small vehicle price point, right? That is what the Chameleon is. That is what the Ferrets would be, the Ram Cycles, stuff like that. They're leaving money on the table with the hover chair. We've heard this one, Checkpoint Alpha, right? This is something they need. People are 3D printing this like crazy. I'm actually surprised they haven't made something like this. And yes, for the most part, Chaz over at GI Customs has created something to go with, your fortification stuff for the GI Joe and or Cobra. And I think it looks really nice. But this is one of those things where people want this. And if you're looking at this, you're looking at probably $60 price point, right? And they're kind of trying to do it with the modification or the fortification, modular fortification. I don't think it's going to work. You want something that's just a solid checkpoint alpha with this stuff. And again, this can be repainted for Cobra. It can be repainted for the Iron Grenadiers. It can be repainted specifically for the Steel Corps, something like that. But this is something people have been asking for. The Devilfish, right? We now have all these divers, and we have nothing, right? We don't have any boats, which I do agree, right? Why do we not have any boats? But here's the Devilfish. And hey, I have Torpedo. I can't think of the other diver's name. We have the 2 diver pack. We have the divers for they're not Legacy, the 60th anniversary. There's all this stuff, right? We keep hearing all this stuff that the money's being left on the table. Money's being left on the table. Wetsuit, thank you very much. I know it. Lucrezio Crow says, I felt like Checkpoint Alpha and other small dials from the original line were an eventual objective they had with the fortification. I do too. I do too. And again, we are seeing one come with the Snowcat, right? So clearly it was on their minds. And I'm assuming who's ever taking over is supposedly good friends with Lenny, and they're going to want to keep doing it. Brute Squad Collectibles saying boats and hose. So you're kind of getting my gist. Remember when Dark Lawn came out and they said, man, they should have come out with this. First off, this is a dumb fucking vehicle. This is a dumb fucking vehicle. I'm glad I didn't have to spend $60 on a Dark Lawn and end up with this thing. Although they probably classify it up, it look a little bit cooler. But you're kind of getting where I'm going here, right? The Fang. I literally saw KJ say they're leaving money on the table. Why haven't they made a Fang yet? That's Black Genghis. I don't want to pick on him, but he said this now a few times. Leaving money on the table. He's not the only one. And in some ways they are correct. You're kind of seeing what I'm saying, right? I'm pointing out all these vehicles that are going to be anywhere from $60 to $110. And everyone wants them right now. So my question is, hold on. Jay Solar says, G.I. Joe is full of dumb fucking vehicles. Oh, you're absolutely correct on that. You're absolutely correct. So here's my question. All these people that say, they haven't done this yet. Why haven't done it? Money's left on the table. Money, right? Between now and the end of 2027, how many of these do you want? Because every time you see something, we hear people tell them how they need this. The biggest issue is, how many of you are going to buy all these vehicles that we're told they're leaving money on the table? Because if you want everything now, and let's say they don't even say, well, we need to make back our money for our tooling. We're going to retool everything. All the vehicles that I put in here or play sets are things I have heard people say that they want. I didn't even put anything big in. I didn't put the whale. I didn't put the moray. I didn't put anything big like that in here. At what point do you run out of money and you can't afford it? Why are those Stingers sitting at Ross? Why did they go to Walmart for $75? because all the people that said, I want this, aren't going to buy it for either the reason they can't afford it, the reason they don't have space, or the reason is I just want the ability to buy everything. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. Now, if they are looking long term, where they are looking at, hey, we want this to be around 10 to 15 years or longer, why would you try and put everything out right away? Because what you do is you bleed the collectors. And I can guarantee you very few people, Gun Bunny is one of them, I myself, Bees Battleground, is going to buy every single one of these. And again, I can only buy all of these. It's because I do a YouTube channel, and I found a way to convert the YouTube channel into helping pay for this fairly expensive hobby. And it doesn't mean that some people don't have the means, but there's also a financial burden on this. There's a space burden too. But everyone is talking about all the money they're leaving on the table. But what if they're making stuff and it's not selling? Because now the fans go, man, so you just did a live stream and you just said, I'm getting a Fang, I'm getting a Shark, and Checkpoint Alpha, and they're all coming next month. And this is $300, not including all the figures. Right? This is where, and you're absolutely right. My wallet, my choice. You're absolutely correct. But as a company, they need to really look at it and go, if we drop all this stuff, who can afford all of it? And if it's all just sitting there, guess what? Companies don't buy it. Chaz Drew says, shit, I buy 2 of each. You know? And all this stuff here starts to add up. And people will wait. I'm going to play clearance chicken. I'm going to wait till it goes on Ross. I'm going to wait till it shows up at Ollie's. You know, I'm going to wait for the deals days and Hasbro Pulse. And I believe that all these products, all these vehicles that people are saying they're leaving money on the table, all this stuff here, not everyone would buy. It would sit there and collect dust. Yes, there are people that will buy everything. Darth Britt. I'll be honest, I just want the figures. I've run out of room, and vehicles don't interest me at this point, especially in the 6-inch scale. I realize I'm in the minority and that I only want the figure. I don't think that you're fully in the minority. Or I think you're in the minority, but I don't think by as much as you might think. All right. But that's exactly what I'm saying, right? Not everyone wants these vehicles. But also, not everyone can afford it. Now, I'm one that has said, hey, you see some of these people and they're buying all this Gridiron stuff. You know, if Ramen can do it, Hasbro can a show with toys. Yes. And there are people that are buying this stuff up like crazy. But remember, the people that are buying what Ramen, what Gridiron is doing, what other companies, they're not trying to make millions. They're just trying to create a profit. They are looking to make thousands, not millions. That's what Hasbro is looking at. And they don't want stuff to sit there on clearance, because that means that the buyers such as Walmart and Target, I would say GameStop, but GameStop is like a lot of collectors. They spend money they don't have. you know, this is a lot of money here. The Thunder Machine, which I believe we will be getting, this is going to be a $125 price point or more. It's a big vehicle. You got to get two figures side by side and close the doors. This is bigger than a Vamp. It's bigger than a Stinger. So my whole point of this is that, yes, there are some people that would buy everything. But if all this stuff that I keep hearing whenever someone sees it, man, Hasbro's leaving money on the table. Fans Hobby does something. They're leaving money on the table. If they gave all of this to us by the end of 2027, everything that I just showed off, and everything that I've just showed off is stuff that someone has said, why don't they make? This stuff would sit there. And not nearly as many of you, because you'd go, whoa, this is a lot more than I was expecting. Because when you're looking at all this stuff, remember, this is not including all the figures that you're going to get. Tidarium Hanger jumping in, saying people are out of space and dollars. And that's exactly it. There's a twofold here. Let's say you have the money, you may not have the space. Maybe you have the space, but you don't have the money. And yes, there are people that will buy it all. I can tell you right now that if I wasn't doing this channel and I did not turn this channel into being a very successful channel for toys, right? I'm not living off of this. I'm not retiring, but I'm able to make everything that I do within this property that I have created, within this brand. I pretty much pay for my toys. It doesn't come out of my actual work. But this is what I'm talking about. You know, you are saying you want all this, but what you truly want is the ability to buy it. It doesn't mean you're going to buy it. And yes, we are getting this, but my understanding it's been pushed back to 2027. So my whole point is we keep hearing how everybody wants this stuff. Money's being left on the table, and there are people that will buy it all. People buy the 3D printed stuff. Chaz from GI Customs, he is killing it right now. Yes, the molds are too expensive. And again, that is exactly why, we see the repaints, because you want to put that money back into it. And like you said, I know you design 3D printing stuff. Render Boy, like that, that's why 3D prints are working for people. But even then, we're looking at a huge cost. So everything that I just showed is stuff that anytime it is shown somewhere or someone 3D prints it, all of these things, people are saying money left on the table. Why haven't they made this shit? Why is Hasbro not making this? They don't care about money, I guess. They're just leaving. If all this product came off, look at this, all of these things. If all of these were announced that they will be out and available before 2027, how many people would go, yeah, I'm not buying it all? I talked a big game when I couldn't get it. I talked a huge game. But now I'm not buying it all, which in turn tells Hasbro, well, we need to cut back on doing vehicles because it's not profitable for us. The companies aren't buying it. Target, Walmart, they don't want it. Entertainment Earth isn't buying up a shitload to sell to their retailers. BBTS has said, hey, that's too many. So they're cutting down on it. This is why it gets branched out. And that is exactly why I put the poll up, right? It says, do you think Classified should have more vehicles right now? 54% of people said yes. Only 18% said no. So if all this stuff was put out, everything that I showed, and again, these are all mid-sized to small vehicles. This isn't even talking about the bigger vehicles, right? I didn't include a Stun, a Havoc, obviously not the Whale or the Moray. How many people are really going to buy them all? Or do people just want the ability to buy it? And don't get me wrong, you're not supposed to care what Hasbro says. Or what you're not supposed to care about what Hasbro's profit is. They're $1 billion company. They can create it. They can. But they're $1 billion company because their idea is to make less mistakes, than more mistakes. I can never figure out how to properly say that. Coxter says the 3.75 scale is better for vehicle and play sets. The 6-inch line is better for figure and accessory detailing. Yes and no. Yes and no. I will say this: taking shots of the Real American Hero vehicles, it's great. There is a sheen to it. You can get the whole thing in, but there is something special about the 6-inch vehicles. And there was a blueprint, and there was many YouTubers that said you can't world build in 1/12 scale. That's not true at all. You just need more space, and people have found ways to create space. Same time choice says Hasbro has a couple of problems. They don't know how many to make. Vamp sellout Stingers made so many it's $30 at stores. Then the distribution is all over the place. Well, this is why I think you're going to see more and more of these bigger vehicles end up Hasbro Pulse exclusives. Remember, that Vamp was readily available until the first time they started shipping. And then it sold out and people lost their fucking minds. Why? It's not because they want a Vamp. It's because they want the ability to get it whenever they want. The FOMO came because, oh my gosh, I can't get it. The Stingers, you had the mold. You said, you know what? We're going to put this out everywhere. It's still $100. That initial one sold really well. But then you get guys like Sergeant Reds, Nerdzoic, BBTS, Entertainment Earth. They're all getting it. And now there's just too many of them. And I'll say it again, Gridiron sold probably more than half of those for them. Because now people were able to just buy one and do whatever they want to it. Not everyone had a Stinger. God forbid, I wouldn't want to fuck my Stinger. I mean, my Vamp up. I wouldn't want to fuck that up. So this is one of those things where everyone wants this, but they just want the ability to buy it. They don't actually want to buy it. And I'm not saying not everyone, right? I don't think they ever thought the Vamp was going to sell that much. And you're right. Nobody wants 20 Stingers in one Vamp. And, well, guess what? What vehicle is sitting there? The All Striker is still available, right? It's still sitting there. Proving my point that, hey, you know what? Everyone says they want this. Is Destro and the Despoiler sold out? Nope. It's still there. Well, people want, like, this is money they're throwing away. It's one of those things where everybody wants this, but they want the ability to buy it. And if all of this stuff comes out before 2027, that's it. Not everyone's going to buy it all. And then it sits there. And I can tell you right now, I know for a fact some of this stuff is coming out that I'm flipping through. Pop Blender says, this is exactly the kind of conversation at the end of your stream people engage with. It needs to happen sooner. Having it at the end doesn't give enough time to post it through his thoughts. Yeah, but you do the topic at the end. You want people to stick around through it. For the record, I have thought about that too. That's kind of why I talked about certain things at the beginning, also. But this is just it. You see all of this stuff. Every single thing that I put on here, we have heard that they're leaving money on the table. I would buy up 10 of these. No, you wouldn't. I'm not saying some of you wouldn't. And some of you would buy it, and you're just, I believe a lot of you are financially irresponsible with your money. And it's not for me to judge. It's not for me to judge where you spend your money, but I think some of you are buying money or buying things when you should be probably paying your rent and your car payment and other things. Baldy says, Pop, that's like adult film study with the money shot. You don't do that. You don't do that. Gotta build up to the topic. Pop, it's a catch-22 because of how long the show is. But you are correct in many ways. But I think by now, 4 years into this, people know that, hey, the topic is going to start in the 11 o'clock hour. But I would be lying if there are a lot of people that tune in and they're like, hey, when's the topic? But this is also why here, this will let you inside baseball. I said that after I did the stream for so long, I wanted people to come in on the replay and watch it. And this is kind of where you get the replay, right? I go through my monologue, then I go through the toy talk, the news. Everyone talks the fucking news. Everyone talks about that's not special. That doesn't make a special show at all. That just makes hey, this is what we all do. And then you get to the topic. I build up with my wonderful personality. That's what draws people in. They're like, man, this guy is so pleasant to listen to. He has that baritone voice. I have none of that. No, Pop. Like seriously, it's a good conversation. It is a good conversation. I've told you before. Like I like to hear what's going. Like it's good to bounce ideas off people and hear ideas. Same time, somebody says, "Punks, the show is definitely not working. Completely change everything." I don't think that's what Pop is saying. And I don't think you think that either. But hey, there are new people that come in that have no fucking clue. But you know what? When people do come in and they start liking the show, which I hope everyone, I don't hope everyone does. I'm not for everyone. I hope the people that come in that are just finding it are like, this show is different than others. Now I'll keep going back to what I said to Matthew early on. I hope I'm just not boring. And his words to me were, you are anything but boring. But to the topic here, I just want to say, every time I hear and I see someone typing something, or I see a stream where they're talking about money left on the table, I'm just thinking, how many things have you said money left on the table? Roman heard it too. You hear that? How many times have I heard that? More times than I can count in a day. Ed, you are not bored. You are so full of shit, and you know it. And Lego Star Wars Kid says, Punk, I love that you actually talk about the toys. Well, I'm glad. And Model Misfit, I tune in any chance I get off. Don't be getting off while watching my show. That's just, unless you're a hot girl, then you'd be like, hey, I get off while watching your show. I'll meet you at Joe Fest. um, but no, it's just, again, this is just one of those things that I hear, I see it, and I'm just like, I don't think you guys all want everything at once. And I'm not saying it's all of you, right? It is, but it is enough of you. Just like the guy that when I made a comment about the 250th anniversary, how can it be sold out again? How can it be sold out again if nobody wanted it? And he told me that my sample size is probably a dozen people. I need a bigger sample size. There's billions of people and millions of people that want this. I like to think my sample size is more than a dozen people. I mean, I'm in the forums, or I'm in the Facebook groups. I obviously do multiple streams talking about this. I probably have more G.I. Joe classified content than maybe any YouTuber that does G.I. Joe, because I've reviewed every figure, and I've done all other videos talking about it and shit. It's like I have a fairly big sample size. And yes, I know not everyone didn't want it, but you can scroll through those Facebook pages and see what they had to say about it. But in the end, it's just one of those things. I think that if they said, hey, all of this stuff, remind you, this is not including characters. All of this stuff will be available before the end of 2027. People would go, whoa, right? Like we hear people, man, they're releasing everything at once. And also remember, even though I believe the majority of Joe collectors are just that, Joe collectors, there's still a good amount that are like, I collect Marvel Legends, I collect Black Series, I collect Transformers. I don't know who collects Transformers. Or Turtles or whatever. Like there's other people collecting other things. It just becomes that one thing where it's like, I don't think you all want this stuff as much as you might think. And again, people are going to argue with me and say I'm wrong. And I would love to I'd love to be able to sit there for 1 year and see all this stuff get dropped and watch people go, yeah, I'm going to wait till this goes to Ollie's. This is going to be a Raw special. I'm not paying that much money for it. You know, I heard someone the other day, another new YouTuber, he's getting into 3D printing. And he 3D printed a Skyhawk. And I don't remember what the guy's name is. The Cobra Report. I think that's what it was. And he said, he showed the Stinger. And he said, well, this is thick plastic, probably thicker than what it needed to be. This Skyhawk cost me $10 to make in plastic. You really did a video where you compared 3D printed plastic to plastic mold injection. And also said that the Stinger is probably thicker than what it needed to be, but it'd be Hasbro would be $110 probably because of greed. Tell me you don't know what you're talking about by telling me you don't know what you're talking about. And this is stuff that was said in the video, and I didn't watch the whole thing. Because once you start showing me that you can 3D print something and say, well, this cost me $10. I printed a Skyhawk. I printed a Skyhawk. I have 3D prints right there. That guy, Debo, right? He'll fucking tell you, yeah, plastic mold injection is way better. And I can find, and he does everything he can to not have defaults and not have, different issues with it. And it's a wonderful thing, but it would be nothing compared to what Hasbro does because of plastic mold injection. And believe me, when you say you made something that costs $10 in plastic, wait till you start getting failures and the time that it takes. And then the painting and the time that it takes you to sand stuff down or paint it or put stickers on it. You can go on and on and on and on. there is a reason why it's you know, you don't compare 3D printed plastic to plastic mold injection. There's a reason why if you were to 3D print an action figure, good luck. You're not going to take it outside and play with it. Oh, also, you forgot to mention how it starts to fucking melt when it's really hot. Don't want to leave that out. There's that little issue that it goes limp because the little fucking blue pill doesn't work for it. But anyway, that's off topic. But I've been here for 3 hours. I have to work in the morning. Some of you have to work in the morning. And I appreciate every single one of you sticking around. It sounds like we will be back on Circle of Jerks tomorrow. I should be there by the time it starts, if it's still starting at 6:30-ish. I'm not really sure what our time is that we're starting. I have to stop after work and let my dad's dog out and then drive home and get up here. But yes, it says only if you're using PLA, other 3D plastics are better. They might be better, but they still melt. They still go limp without a little blue pill. There's no denying that. And again, some really good 3D printers. I have some stuff coming. I think Roman's starting to get a little antsy over there. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow on Circle of Jerks over at Boldy Locks Reviews. And then this Thursday, the Drive to Joe Fest. We kick it off with Podcasts from the Pit. I'm going to have Casey, Hillbilly Jim, Maximum Warp, and Joe ARH. 4 guys that didn't even come in today. You guys all have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.